Hey.
Why?
Let's go.
This show fucking stinks. And the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it.
AJ, you never cease to amaze me with your toxicity, pal.
You got a couple of these?
God damn it!
What the fuck are you doing?
Fuck Boston.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Thursday, August 10th, 2023. This sports program starts right now. Football! He's happening tonight. We have two preseason games happening on NFL Network. The Texans and Patriots will battle in a game in which a lot of the Patriots starters will not play, but a lot of the young studs on Houston will play. There's Zip on the ball, Zappy playing, McSorley's playing. We think tonight at 7 p.m. on NFL Network, there's going to be a good one. Now, we don't know what the third and fourth quarters are going to look like in any of these games, but we have football tonight, and once that game ends, it's not over. No. The Vikings travel to Seattle to take on a Seahawks team, and we don't know who's playing for either of these teams, and obviously we should cover the Seahawks more because they had the number one offense in the NFL last year.
That's right.
So we do apologize for that. It hasn't been a lot of chatter about the Seahawks. I saw DK Metcalf make a great catch at practice the other day. I assume they're going to be good. I don't think Kirk Cousins will play. That doesn't seem to be his MO. But tonight from 7 p.m. to about 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we got NFL teams playing football. There's like 6 games, I think, tomorrow or Saturday.
Yep,
and
both.
Then there's 2 games on Sunday. Yep. We got a weekend packed with, glimpses of what our teams could look like this upcoming season. Have news here out of Indianapolis. Anthony Richardson will be starting for the Indianapolis Colts in the first preseason game. This comes one day after Mike Tannenbaum, former Jet general manager on ESPN, said, they'd be making a mistake. They put Anthony Richardson in too early. Jim Irsay came on our show and said, first of all, gonna save Lolita.
Yes.
Of course.
He said
First
that.
and foremost.
Yeah. AKA Talkie Tay.
He lit up Talkie for short. He said, I met Talkie when I also known as Talkie. He lit up 3 cigarettes.
Yep.
He talked about a lot of things. And in there he said, Anthony Richardson's got to play football.
Yeah.
He very clearly said that I understand there's a lot that has to happen, but with him, he needs experience playing football. Yep. He then said Peyton Manning was 3-13 his rookie year. He played a lot of football. So that kind of scared me with where they're setting expectations at this because I believe this roster is much better than the roster that Peyton Manning came into. But nonetheless, he said Anthony needs to play football. Yep. That is what I thought Jim Irsay was making it very loud and clear whenever he was talking to us. Anthony Richardson started day 1. Right. Anthony Richardson started week 1. Yeah. Anthony Richardson has to play football, so we're going to have him play football. And if you've heard Chris Ballard or anybody else talk about it, like, there's going to be some, he's a rookie fucking quarterback. Right. There's going to be a lot of that. Like, immediately after drafting him, he came on our show and was like, listen, there's going to be some NFL moments in there. There's going to be splash, but just we need to get him experience, and we think his ceiling is something that we don't even comprehend. He's 6'5", 250 pounds, runs a 4.4 basically, and he can move and can spin it 65, 70 yards, no step, no problem. So Anthony Richardson announces a starter. That's exciting news here. But all around the NFL, there's exciting news to look out for. You got the Jets and the Panthers practicing together. You got Aaron Rodgers talking about Bryce Young, singing his praises as much as everybody else has. There's a lot of teams that have a lot of hope right now. And I think it continues through the weekend. Because even if your team sucks in these preseason games, who cares?
Doesn't matter.
It's the preseason. But if your team does good, it's like, all right.
Here we go.
9 of those guys on the field aren't going to be on our team, probably playing for other teams, but the helmets look good. That's our strategy, right? Those are our plays. Our plays are beating their plays. What's going to happen whenever our good players get in good plays, and then what we're going to do to other people. So it's a great weekend. We're thankful to be here. Excited that you're joining us. Also joining us today, Damian Woody, ESPN. He was on...
Get up and first take.
Yeah, he was.
Good morning.
They had a camera on him.
They did.
Even when he wasn't talking.
That's right.
Damian Woody was on camera a lot this morning.
Too much.
Every time I've chatted with him, I don't think he knew a couple times he was on.
No.
But every time I've chatted with him, love him. Great conversation. He's grown a beard, I think.
Yeah,
looks
like
good.
it.
He's grown a beard. He'll be joining us because the Jets Pac-Man certainly has some ideas for the current look for Damian Woody, but we are big fans. Can't wait to chat with him. The Jets' offensive line, allegedly a question mark, right? Yeah. Has been talked about. Aaron talked about it in a press conference, and he's kind of talking like offense coordinator for New York Jets. I like that a lot. He was talking about the consistency inside and outside. This is what he had to say about the offensive line in front of about 55 microphones. Yeah. You know what I mean? This is what they talk about. Look at all the Carolina's obviously there and all that. New York media, though, that's the difference. This is what his podiums are going to look like all year. And I'm not going to say that Aaron's going to crush it, but like I'm very excited for all these microphones, all of these networks that certainly maybe thought one way about Aaron, getting a chance to hear him, because once he starts breaking down his offensive line here in training camp, and I'm assuming nobody's going to tell him like, hey, we don't need you talking about those types of things, which might have happened in the past in other places. I think he's only going to feel more and more empowered. Anyways, the reason why Damian Woody's coming on is because this is what was said by Aaron Rodgers about the offensive line that has led to Mike Greenberg and other Jets fans going, oh, great, we finally get a quarterback and our offensive line sucks. I don't think that's what Aaron Rodgers thinks. Here's what he had to say.
I mean, we got to figure out who the first five is going to be. So a lot of guys in competition right now. It seems like they're switching the tackles left and right just about daily with Max and Billy. Just looking for consistency with those guys. I feel like the interior has been a bright spot, pretty consistent for us, both the first and second group. We just need a little more consistency on the edge.
Yeah, so he's talking like coach there. Talking like coach. Like he's talking to his teammates through the media and probably in real life. We'll talk to Damian Woody about his thoughts. He's been boots on the ground, obviously former Jets offensive lineman, and
of course he won 2 Super Bowls with the Patriots.
And then we'll have Fred Taylor on, not in the Hall of Fame. A lot of people think he should be in the Hall of Fame. Current host of The Pivot. Big fan of his.
Oh, yeah.
Huge.
On the field and as a human. He'll join us in the second hour. I'm assuming we'll get into how pissed off we are about the running back market.
Yes.
Because he will have to speak, right? Like TD felt like Terrell Davis came on. He felt, I think all running backs right now are currently feeling an obligation like, yes, this needs to remain a staple of NFL offenses and treated that way. I'm sure we'll talk about that. But also, let's talk about the Jags. Maybe having a little expectation. Let's talk about the pivot. Let's talk about life for Fred Taylor. And then we'll have Michael Lombardi joining us in the final hour. What shit spilled out of his mouth this week that was breaking news that nobody really heard about? That is kind of what our conversations with Lombo become. Because numerous boys in the office listen to Lombo. We are big fans of Michael Lombardi. We think the way he goes about saying things, now he has been wrong.
That's right.
Jason Kelsey let the world know in a Super Bowl parade while dressed up sweet that Michael Lombardi can be a dumbass sometimes. But whenever you're stepping in the batter's box, you know, for every single thing, there's a chance you're going to be wrong. That's like the way he talks, and he just breaks news accidentally.
Just sweet. All the time.
No, I think people know.
No, I said that.
Said that 5 times this week.
No, people, 2 months ago, and then we look it up and we're like, nope.
No,
that was breaking news. Yeah, that was breaking news.
Well, you know.
Well, it shouldn't be. I think anybody with a brain knew.
Right.
You know, like he does that type of stuff. So I can't wait. Today should be a great fucking day.
Hell yeah.
We got football tonight, and one member of the Toxic Table, at Boston Connor, who has Connor's mullet there, next to at Ty Schmidt. Your team's playing tonight, but nobody's playing. What are your thoughts on it? Are we going to see Bill O'Brien's offense? Is that what you're judging here? What is the takeaway from this evening for the Patriots?
Yeah, kind of weird Mac's not playing because, like you just mentioned, Bill O'Brien, first year in the offense, you would think that he would get out there like he did last year with Matt Patricia's offense. But kind of good news then. That means Mac probably has a good handle. Same with the starting wide receivers and tight ends. It's all about the rookies. I mean, we hear all these different things about, you know, this guy being a Hall of Famer and this guy looks like Devontae Adams or this guy looks like Justin Jefferson. Now we actually get to see it. There's a Pop Douglas character for the Patriots, slot receiver. That's kind of who I have my eyes on. I told you guys right before we came on here, love the over tonight because it's zip on the ball zappy like you mentioned.
36.5 is the over under this evening for the Texans Patriots.
Little high, but zip on the ball zappy spins the fucking shit out of the football. So I'm not worried about their side of things. Also, none of the defensive starters are playing for the Patriots. Hopefully we get Christian Gonzalez, but doesn't look like he's going to be playing either. Stroud, Dougie Mills. You assume they're going to have remote success. And the biggest thing in all this is Bill. We saw this last year, maybe it was 2 years ago with the Panthers. He doesn't want to do like the 3rd and 8, blitz or game plan and things. Just pretty basic.
We're not
defense.
giving anything away here.
Yeah, we're not doing anything.
Some teams want to practice stuff.
Yes.
And Bill Belichick's like, why would we practice anything publicly?
Stupid.
We're not doing anything that we're going to do. I love that he's doing that. But if you got a lot of new guys, sometimes it's like the surprise, certainly something, but execution also.
Yeah.
Bill has a better grasp on things than we do, but he does tend to be a bit bland.
Yeah, very bland. Very,
in
simple
preseason.
coverages, and he's not going to do anything. And I feel like going back to what Omar Khan said yesterday, like Bill does feel like, hey, joint practices, like you can go full, you can work on those type of things in the joint practices, but preseason games not showing any hands. But it's going to be awesome. I'm just pumped to watch Patriots play, and rookies won't be wearing 55 and 60 and playing wide receiver anymore.
Kind of hazing.
Yeah, a little bit.
It is,
Actually,
Yeah, you got a trash-ass number,
Yeah.
You look like
I'm not
an
even
idiot.
allowed to wear this number at this position. You're even lucky to be wearing a fucking number. How about that?
Boom.
Okay. All right. This guy's, I want to go report to a coach. This guy's being pretty rude to me.
A little bit. More than
That happened.
55.
Yeah, it did.
That happened in Washington.
It
Suck
did.
it up.
This coach is a little rude, don't we think?
He cussed.
A little intense. A little rude.
Then Ron Rivera's like, I got a lot of guys coming to me saying this guy has no self-awareness and doesn't get it at all, like needs to relax a little bit. And then the next day, Ron Rivera has a prepared
Yeah.
speech that he reads. And we're not going to run the video because it's actually 2.5 minutes long.
Yep.
And we have a 3-hour show. We don't have 2.5 minutes to listen to Ron Rivera talk about how he misspoke, about how he was talking about Eric Bieniemy. And I'm excited to see how they kind of manage that. Ron Rivera in an interesting spot. I think new owners would fire him, because old ownership and old transition, he goes in there and that place is on fire.
Right
and
away.
he is somehow supposed to put players onto a field all rowing in the same direction. Then he beats cancer,
Yep.
right, during the season. Then he is a part of the naming of the team,
Sure.
seemingly a part of the entire operation. Like, okay, this is the face of the Washington Commanders. New owners come in, and, Ron Rivera's ex-player, so I love that he's had success for a very long time. He's been very good to us. His teams have not been very good.
At all.
And it's not his fault. Like, we've heard everything that has happened in Washington. Might be his fault, but we've heard everything happening behind the scenes. The fact that they even got a team onto the field, every single week was like a massive.
Commendable.
That's a pretty massive thing with what we've heard from happening over there behind the scenes. So it's tough to judge them, but also they've stunk. So it's like, what's that?
They did win the division with Heineke and almost
With
beat
6
Tampa.
wins or something like that. I think it was like 7 wins.
Yeah.
It's like Ron Rivera obviously was very good when he was with Carolina, and I think he's been an incredible steady pillar for that franchise, and they don't have a lot of them. But if they stink this year, I think there's a chance even though like a year ago you asked me, I think Ron Rivera's with this team forever.
Long run.
I think that type of protection is no longer there for him.
No.
But back to the point. These players saying that a coach is being rude in a fucking training camp is wild to me.
Soft.
Now, I don't want to talk about that for too long because it is depressing to think about that that's happening in the sport of football at the highest level. It's like, okay, well,
You get paid to do this.
yeah, not only that, but so what's going on in colleges where these guys think that,
Yeah, is that?
you know what I mean? Then you get to the pros. You're an adult now, and you're getting. This is your job, okay? This is your fucking job, or trying to earn a job at least. And you're just like, you're just being rude to me. It's like, no shit. It's combat sport, bro. Like, there's gonna be some people that are rude to you. Now, I don't like coaches that are just hard asses all the time. I don't enjoy that one bit. But at this particular stage of training camp, that is a tough thing to go. Why? Like, being comfortable enough to be like, hey, head coach, this guy's being pretty rude to me.
Yeah.
You know, you got to be very.
I couldn't imagine.
You got to be so comfortable that you're not going to ever get fired
Get
or
cut
or
immediately.
motherfucked anything. That's the big story from this whole thing for me. And I don't want to judge the modern day too much, but that was wild to me to kind of see that whole thing.
And maybe it is no self-awareness, but just initially when I saw that, I was like, oh, okay, so these are like some actual like dudes on the offense then.
Right.
Has
Like,
to be.
it'd
Gotta
have
be
to be
offense.
Yeah, it'd have to be a guy who's comfortable
So
enough.
Terry McLaurin.
See, and then him and Bieniemy had like the nice dap up. Like I don't think Terry McLaurin's doing it, but you would imagine that it would have to be someone who is comfortable enough
And
knowing
probably
that
playing
like
like shit.
I'm not going to get cut if I go say this. But then that's the other thing. It's like you look at college football, like, yeah, sure, it's probably not the same as it was 20 years ago, but, like, guess what? Guys are getting motherfucked everywhere. Like, coaches are coaches. Like, I don't know where these guys are coming from, where they're never getting coached hard and they're never getting cussed out or anything like that. And then
that happens. By the way, if a person who's going to commit their entire life to making other people better at a sport, okay, is going to commit their entire, if the way they speak is potentially a little sharp, like, if they get the most out of you, though, they feel like they're doing a good job and they are being rewarded. Like, that is their angle in which they are coaches. Like, you start thinking about anybody that's in a position of motivation or mentor, they're all trying to get the best out of people. Now, some people are not good at it.
Right,
okay?
of course.
And they're assholes, and they're not good. Those people you hope will get fired. Those are people, after at least a display of success or failure with the whole process, then I think people complain about, especially at like the professional level, because, this person's ruining my career as well.
Right.
And he's an asshole. So it's like bad and an asshole. We haven't even played a game yet. We're 2 weeks into training camp.
Yeah.
And they're complaining about this guy who just got here, and your team has stunk it's hard optically from outside looking in to have any empathy at all for the players. But with that being said, gotta keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
Gotta keep an eye on
It's
it.
going to be a disaster.
Could you imagine,
Bieniemy,
do you
too.
imagine how, like, Bill...
What half of the hammer? Dahn. Cowboys tone
Do you
dick.
imagine, like, a player going to, like, Bill or Tomlin or Harbaugh? And saying this, like, how they would react?
Hey, real quick, don't fucking come into my office like that.
Yeah.
You go directly to that person.
Right. And I hired him. I hired him, right?
Yeah, Ron didn't say any of that, right?
Well, no.
That's why Ron had to read that
I don't
entire
even know if
prepared
Ron,
I gotta
speech.
put my
Ron
foot in
knows
my mouth
what
today.
season it is. But
But to your point, Pac-Man, there was potentially a general manager at a team that I was at that every human that I talked to in every department was not thrilled that person was our general manager and thought like potentially not being great, Now, I think he has evolved and changed and everything like that. Since then, I'm just speaking from my experience with every human in the building in every department that I was around. So I was like, you know what? I'm one of the only humans that can just go up to Jim and I'm going to say, hey, and everybody was like, yo, Jim hired him.
Right.
So you got to remember, like, when you say that, to your point, you're going, like, so now there's a chance that old Jim would feel attacked.
Yes.
For that
Questioning.
because that's his decision. So to your point, are these players Ron Rivera just hired this guy, like 2 months ago, 3 months ago, and all of a sudden the players like, this guy in it could have been perceived as a shot at Ron Rivera too.
Yes.
Players didn't even think about, I didn't even think about that until it was like late on. I'm like, oh yeah, good. That's a very good call. I didn't think about it.
You already know this question already came up between him and Ron because this already been an issue. Sure. Everybody knows how he coached. He coached hard. He expect everybody do it his way, the same way, one beat, one drum. So everybody knew what they signed up.
That's also how Andy Reid is too, right?
Yeah, so that's why.
Right. Reid is all 90% of the greats are like that.
So let's talk about that because, like, whenever the Patriots coaches would come out from underneath the Belichick umbrella, they would try to implement. Now, they would all be head coaches. They wouldn't be an offensive coordinator. They would all get, like, head coaching jobs. And that's what a lot of people said about Eric Bieniemy. Like, hey, this offense, Super Bowls, why is he not getting a head coaching? Because in the past, that's how it works. Team wins.
Yeah.
Offense coordinator smart.
Yeah.
Go to head coach.
That person's going to be a head coach.
Eagles.
This time, exactly. This time he's going Shane Steichen. Yep, bingo. So this time he's going to offense coordinator and he's trying to instill like the Andy Reid stuff, right?
Yeah.
But it's Ron Rivera's house. So that's like a fascinating little dilemma within the entire conversation of it. Because normally these types of guys go and they're able, it's their house now. So like everything's going to be this way. How about the offense? Seeing the way Bieniemy's operate, and then like how the defense is with Jack, they're like having a fun camp.
Yeah.
What
the hell?
Defense side ball. These guys like 4 or 5 minutes late to meetings. They're joking around. They're shooting basketballs in there.
Yeah.
Jack Del Rio's like, hey, how we doing, boys? Offense side of the ball. You're fucking 15 minutes early.
Yeah.
You're not speaking. Shirts tucked in.
Do what I say.
And offense is like, this ain't how. Hey, Ron, the fuck?
What happened?
Is going on here? It's like, because that's interesting because it's not the entire program.
Yeah.
It's just the offense getting the outside mentality dropped into it. I'm like very interested to see how it works out over there.
And that goes back to your point is like the defense has been good. Like, the offense hasn't been worth the shit for, going on like 15 years. It's like, hey, maybe you need someone to come in and kind of rehaul everything. Like, that's just the way it goes sometimes.
But boy, oh boy, if they stink.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody's going to be buying into that intensity.
Yeah.
Well, is that like a reflection at all of what the players think about him? Because, like, you would think that if he has that resume, that at least they know, like, well, this guy called, and made the offense for Patrick Mahomes.
So I think everybody feels the same way in the football.
Okay. So that's players as well as people on the outside.
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
I think this is an opportunity for Bieniemy to kind of prove that he is his own.
Yeah, he is calling the plays.
Yeah.
So it's like
I think everybody in the NFL.
Nobody in the
Everyone
NFL thinks that Eric Bieniemy have called not one play.
Bingo. Everybody in the NFL is like,
okay.
Nah.
We love Eric. And a lot of teams have these types of guys that are in there, certainly at a title, and they're helping the whole thing. But I think a lot of people wonder, like, if it wasn't for, Bill Belichick.
Yeah, and Patricia, it's the same.
For instance, it's the exact same situation. Everybody around the NFL at some point started realizing, like, oh, it's Bill. It's not everybody around Bill. It is Bill. I think that has come, I don't know how many, Joe Judge might have been the last one, right?
Head coach.
Yeah.
McDaniels in Vegas.
So we'll see. Like, this might be the final.
Yeah.
If it continues, it might be the final where teams just finally realize, like, oh, it's Bill. But I think with Andy's operation over there, everybody in the NFL is like, that's Andy Reid. Andy Reid is the genius. Andy Reid is the guru. Andy Reid's been calling plays for 4 decades, kind of in and out of there. So I don't want to say it's a detriment to the offense coordinator there, but it certainly became one for Eric Bieniemy in the head coaching gig. Now he has an opportunity to kind of do his own thing and have no other excuses made.
Yeah.
But what if it doesn't go well? I didn't even think about that.
Well, and I think, like, he was a running back at Colorado, right? Like, he came in, he was a running backs coach. Like, I imagine it doesn't help either that, like, Nagy was the quarterbacks coach, and you get, like, you have Mahomes, so it's like any type of success that they are attributing to it, it's like, well, he's not even his quarterbacks coach.
Hey, that quarterback show on Netflix,
Yeah.
I think we forgot that Eric Bieniemy, the whole situation that took place for him to be offense coordinator for the Commanders.
Yeah.
Where we were having discussions like, definitely sucks for this guy.
For sure.
That he has to leave a good team, go to a not good team to prove that he can be a head coach. Like, that sucks. That's never how it's ever been. But also, we feel like at some point somebody would have hired him.
Because he did get head coaching interviews.
Yes, if they believed that, he was a person.
The guy.
Like, teams are desperate to win. Teams are desperate to have good offense. So whenever they say, like, well, it's an orchestrated attempt not to hire this person, I'm like, if that motherfucker thinks they can make money, they're going to hire the person. So we were confused also on why he wouldn't get his gig. But watching quarterback, he was not even in it.
No.
At all.
There was a couple, when he popped up sitting on the bench, like a couple seats down or whatever, that's when I was like, oh, shit.
Forgot.
I completely forgot the enemy
It was
was
a lot of Nagy.
Nagy and a lot of Reed.
Yeah.
You know what I
Even
mean?
on the championship part, nobody they go to straight to the quarterback coach and to Andy.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I'm
And
just
Shady
saying,
said some
I
stuff.
probably would have ran to the defensive coordinator if I would have won the Super Bowl.
Lou Arumo
First person I would have ran to would have been Lou
or Zim.
or Zim or Coach Lewis at the time. But I wouldn't have went to my position coach first.
It would have been sweet if any of the teams I was on when Mitt's dad was our special teams coach, we would have won a Super Bowl, and me and Vinatieri just go and spear Tom McGee. That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
Just free shot at a spear.
Dudley drop.
Yeah,
Nothing bad
maybe a
can
triple
happen.
D.
Yep.
That would be incredible. So Eric Bieniemy's start over there is obviously going smoothly from his first press conference, his first dap up, first couple practices. Excited to see.
Forgot about the dap.
Yeah, excited to see how it all goes. I was wondering in my head whenever we were talking about, well, I don't think it's Scary Terry because of the dap up, and I immediately thought of the white guy.
Yeah, might be him.
I was like, and then I started thinking, if it's an offensive lineman that is saying this guy's too rude,
That's
they're
not
in some
good.
real shit.
Yeah, that's not good.
Speaking of offensive linemen, Damian Woody will join us in about 14 minutes to speak about what's going on with the Jets. Mike Greenberg said, give me Bakhtiari.
Yeah.
He said, let's trade for Bakhtiari. Now, Bakhtiari just yesterday after practice said Jordan Love's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. So I think we can count Bakhtiari into the Jordan Love camp.
Yeah.
Now, maybe he swung a little too, maybe he was trolling there.
little bit.
Maybe he was mocking how people were talking either one way or the other. And there was a couple times where he was doing interviews earlier this offseason, whenever it seemed what was going to happen with Aaron, where he was saying the Packers instead of like us and we. And then he came out and said it's a transition era. It's a building, reloading phase, even though other people don't want to say that. Bakhtiari's in an interesting spot.
Yes.
Yes, he is.
Very interesting spot. Seemingly healthy and going to play again.
Yep.
Good football player whenever he's playing. Hasn't played a lot over the last couple years. Very tight with Aaron. Are the Packers trading Bakhtiari to the Jets?
Whoa.
I saw Greeny walking around his desk this morning on Get Up saying, we fucking need a new offense. Here's Greeny right here, actually, on Get Up, getting concerned about the offensive line.
In which, he's making a lot of money.
Okay, I'm going over here. Go ahead, get the shot up. We need. I'm going to make this plea in front of my
McAfee.
jersey. We need this man standing tall when the season ends. Jets, go do it again. Diana's not reporting it's happening. I'm reporting they should do it. The Jets should go out and make a trade for offensive line help immediately, and David Bakhtiari would be the perfect place to start.
Okay, so that's what he wants. He wants Bakhtiari to come to the Jets. I mean, he was walking around dancing.
He was basically sitting in Harry before that clip, like when they were just talking about it, and they played Rodgers' clip about talking about the O-line, and then I believe Conor McGregor was talking about the O-line a little bit. He was basically like so fired up. He was kind of sitting in Harry Douglas's lap, like just
Greeny just on a lap there.
Yeah,
very, very close. He was this close to his face.
I heard some stories about the Douglas family this morning. I'm a big fan of Harry Douglas and his dad and his brother Tony. I believe I learned about through the Pac-Man lineage, who knows Harry Douglas very well. But yeah, Greeny's really worked up. And I assume if Greeny's worked up, that sends an alarm to a lot of the Jets fans. Like, hey, we all got kind of lost in the sauce of Aaron coming. And we all got lost in the Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall and his Dalvin Cook coming. Holy shit. And Cobb and Lazard and CJ. And our defense is reloaded and back, and we forgot our offensive line sucks. It's kind of getting thrown in their face right now.
A lot.
Is Bakhtiari on the move? Is that what you think is going to happen, or is he going to be a staple of this next Green Bay Packers era?
I don't know if he's going to be a staple of the era, because I think now there are just more questions because he's been so banged up the last 2 years. But when he does play and he is healthy, he's one of the best left tackles in football. I just think it's tough. Like, I know a lot of people were kind of speculating this offseason that I think the Packers have an out after this year where they could potentially cut him and they wouldn't owe him much. But I just have a tough time believing that. Like, you have Jordan Love. If Bakhtiari is healthy, like, he's a guy you want out there protecting Love's blind side. And I don't think it makes sense.
No, but Greeny said Aaron.
He did. He did.
And
But
Packers fans like, well, we got a guy who takes snaps too. It's crazy.
And we also don't we don't know this 1,000%, but I think it's safe to say too that at this point, like, Gutekunst in the front office, like, I don't think they're trying to do anything more to help Rodgers and the Jets potentially win a Super Bowl. Like,
could you imagine Gutekunst is like, yeah, you guys are right. It would only be fair.
Yeah, why don't you send us a 7th-round pick in return?
LaFleur said Green Bay East yesterday, right? Or a couple
days ago. Yeah. He talked about Hackett and Aaron and Cobb and Lazard.
Right.
Anybody else?
No, they were talking about Big Dog going there, but he signed with the Bears. So.
Did Amos?
Amos, yep.
Okay. Amos over there.
Look at that, Green Bay East doing its thing. Let's talk about Green Bay's nemesis in the NFC whenever they were running to the NFC Championships, and a team that everybody's talking about potentially winning a Super Bowl. The San Francisco 49ers are still without the Defensive Player of the Year practice. Okay, we are deep into training camp, and I think it's because the East Coast bias. If this was on an East Coast team and it was happening, this would be very, very, very loud. The Defensive Player of the Year is holding out a training camp on a Super Bowl contending team, and it is not really being talked about because I guess, it is training camp, people can get away with. But if this was on a team that gets talked about on a regular basis, this would be headline every morning. Boom. One of the best players in all of football is not getting paid by a team that needs his services to go to the Super Bowl. Like, that's how it would be spun. Instead, we're kind of just like, yeah, it'll get figured out. Yeah, it'll get figured out. Kyle Shanahan was asked about the Bosa situation. This is how he handled it.
No, not at all. I don't know if Bosa's ever done a training camp, and he's done pretty good. I mean, it's a little different when you're a D lineman. I mean, just how you always, everybody wants people here and you want to do that stuff, but it doesn't affect the team as much from a DN standpoint. I have as much confidence in Nick as any player I've ever been around in terms of how he prepares and everything. And I know they're going to get it right, both sides. And I'm excited for when I do see him.
He just said to all you DNs, training camp don't matter.
Yep.
So there's something to think about. If I'm at that practice and I'm making the team and I'm a little bit of a lazy fuck at all right, he just said it.
I don't need to be here.
Good run.
Give me a red jersey. I guess that's a Niners jersey. Go ahead and give me one of those little baseball hats. He said it. I can it doesn't matter. I'm fucking around, obviously, but Bosa not being there is a big deal. And I appreciate the fact that everybody just assumes it's going to get done, Shanahan included. And what we were told is that Shanahan
runs the show.
Yeah.
So Shanahan's saying, I trust that deal is going to get done. That means it's going to get done? Yeah. Why hasn't it?
Makes no sense. That feels like something that almost would have been done last year when he is on this tear and it's like, hey, give me my money. Are they not worried because this has already happened? He held out his rookie year and then they just decided okay, we'll pay him. And they know that that's where all roads lead to, no matter what the small little thing
with
is.
that guy, defensive player of the year, you like to have him around the team. You're talking about how the position you can we get it. And he's working on his moves and Bosa's going to be great. Yeah. He's the best in the world at what he does right now. And he's the size of a jungle cat. So it's he's going to be great. But having that guy around is good for team building, good for camaraderie. And it seems like there is zero urgency at all to get him in there. I wonder if this is just going to be the new trend around the NFL. We got a long season.
No. This definitely not going to be the new trend around the NFL. Because guess what? All these defensive ends, not one of them is like Bosa. I'm quite sure he's in the middle of the woods somewhere, chopping wood. We don't have to worry about...
You're saying he's a lumberjack.
Yeah. We don't have to worry about him being in shape. We don't have to worry about him knowing the defensive playbook. They got a veteran defense over there. And the deal will get done. They probably got a date. Hey, look, we got to get this done by this certain date. And I'm quite sure it's the week before the first game. We don't need him right now.
This kind of happened with Zeke, right? Whenever he was down in Mexico.
Yep. Yeah.
He was in Cabo, I believe, doing his thing, training. Yeah. And I think it was said that, Jerry and his people were like, hey, we'll get a deal done at this. Need to be in shape by. Yeah, whatever, dude. You don't want to do training camp. Cool, you're in Cabo. I get it. But also, we're going to have to work through some stuff. This is probably going to be the date you'll be back. Yeah. If they gave that type of deadline to the whole situation, I think that's probably why everybody's so calm and comfortable. But I would want that fucker around. Just walk around. You might inspire a rookie to be like, damn, I didn't know that's what NFL players look like. Just having your great people around is good. Just watching. I learned shit from Dallas Clark, who is a tight end, just by watching how he operated. I learned stuff from Gary Brackett just from seeing him in the building. You learn stuff watching people that are great and how they go about doing things. Like Bosa in the training room, I'd assume before practice, after practice, in the middle of practice, his work ethic, his attention to detail, his meal. Rookies seeing that and just getting a chance that's how the greatest in the world does it.
Yeah.
That's a big deal, but I guess that isn't as much of an importance because, once again, we have a long season and people will be able to see him do it during
and Shanahan plays it off so cool. And it's not just West Coast bias. I think it's defensive bias as well because the number 3 in votes for Defensive Player of the Year last year, Chris Jones, no one's talking about either. But we talk
still not at camp, right?
We talk about on offense. We talk about Zach Martin. We talk about Jonathan Taylor. We had talked about Saquon.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit of a defensive bias, I believe.
That's not our show. We love field positioning.
I agree.
Yeah. Love defense.
Not me. I'm just talking. Not about.
You're a part of
us.
it, yeah. Because
no, I meant not us.
Have you heard Dahn bring it up at all?
No, funny enough.
Oh, a couple times.
Not Bosa. No, but the offensive guys.
Well, I like.
Yeah, for sure. He's just right.
Well, I
now.
like to keep. I'm keeping Bosa, under the radar because week 1 I'd rather him not play.
So you're just kind of slowly wishing that Lynch and Bosa get into it.
Yeah.
What if they start throwing
running back? You better go back in there right now.
What's that?
If you're playing running back, you better go and get back in there right now.
It's a fascinating scene, though, whenever it's all these contract negotiations. Because, Jonathan Taylor, not in the building for treatment, doesn't have a contract.
Better get back right now.
So it's very hard for us not to just go, fascinating. If his contract was figured out, would he be in the building getting treatment? Would he need the treatment that isn't available in the building? Or is this a convenient way to get him away from everybody because he's potentially being an anchor?
Yeah.
You don't need anchors in your life. You don't need anchors around you on a daily basis. No. You don't need people that bring any more negative energy into your life because life is already hard enough. Now, whenever you talk about the NFL, winning is already hard enough. You don't need any motherfuckers bringing any negative energy, especially in a time where, although people are sore and tired and miserable because it's training training camp, optimism is through the roof.
Yeah.
Every team believes they can go win a Super Bowl.
Yes.
Right now, every team believes that they have a road to the Super Bowl. If we're able to execute this offense, if we're able to do this on defense, we can win, get into the playoffs, and once we get in there, we can get hot and go. There are some teams, obviously, that have a realistic view, coaches-wise, but every team, player-wise, believes they're going to win a Super Bowl. That is the purpose of the head coach in training camp, in the meetings.
Yes.
Here's a video. Here's what we can do. Here's what we did. Here's what the teams that won. That is the head coach's job, is to make everybody buy in that you can win a fucking Super Bowl. Joe Thomas said every single year he went into the year thinking they were going to win a Super Bowl, and he won one game in his final 32 games. But he was, guy's a Hall of Famer, not now, okay? We don't need you to make fun of his kid either, like Tone. We don't need you calling a little kid a loser.
Well,
okay, should have been fired for it. Still under review.
thank you for
That's
not-
right.
Oh, okay.
HR is reviewing.
We're delaying the suspension into a full review of the situation.
Thank you.
Comes back from H&R. But just know you're on the hot seat.
Probation?
I mean, I don't know what the ruling's
Yeah,
going to be.
we're going to have to check with HR.
Yeah, just you need not say anything else about kids
I won't.
being losers for the next 7-8 weeks.
Yeah.
That's how long the investigations. That kid is a dog, okay? That's Joe Thomas's son, Jack. And he's hanging out of the back of a truck with the top down at a Steelers fan right now saying, fuck you. That's what he's saying right now to you. That's you. You are sitting right there.
Look at that.
You. He's talking to you.
And I would have done the same thing. I would have looked him right in the eyes and I said, fucking put that fucking thumb away, loser.
Oh, so now you're flipping off kids. In the middle of this investigation. You're a terrible guy. Anyways, hey, Jack, we're on your Jack's a dog.
Yeah, keep going, Jack.
Jack's a dog, just like his dad was, obviously, for so long. But every team believes they can win. It's a wild thing that happens. Even the team that we were we knew we were probably losing that one when Peyton just showed up at training camp, wasn't able to grip football.
But the year with Chuck, where you guys are the last.
We thought we had a chance to go win, especially after you see Andrew Luck.
Yeah.
So this team with Anthony Richardson and everything that's going on with him and with Shane Steichen's offense and the defense being back and the offensive line being back and Michael Pittman Jr. being back and Alec Pierce having another year. It's like everybody is super positive, and then you just got to fuck it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This thing is literally just dangling around.
Yeah.
And this thing happens to be the most talented motherfucker on the field if he was all in. So the Colts deciding, and I guess him deciding as well, like, let's get him out of the building. I'll be excited to see how the re-entry is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The whole team.
Because how many steps forward is this team going to take without him in the building?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Going to grow even more because you got the.
Yeah.
You know, 'cause
out.
there's players still trying to be good
show
teammates with
must go
Jonathan
on.
Taylor.
That's when
too.
you would have been great, though. Like, if he comes back, you would have been in the middle of the team meeting. Hey.
I've actually thought a few times on how I would handle what the fuck was going on.
Yeah.
Because he's literally, at the training camp I was at, he's just standing there. Like,
Looking unhappy.
just
Hood up. Yeah.
not happy. Running back has a good play, not even talking to anybody. And then just like a couple months ago, he was like beloved by everybody. So I think I would have been very befuddled. I would assume though, me and Vinny are standing like right next to him probably most practice.
We'd have had to talk.
Saying something.
That's what you have to accept.
You have to.
Yeah,
I would have had to talk to him.
most definitely. Somebody has to do that too.
Yes.
Like that's a big part
Where are
of
the
it.
captains at?
Well, so that's the thing. Like I don't know if we have the most chirpy
Yeah.
on the offensive side.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Montez would have been on his ass. Hey, bro. I know you're going through something, but leave your shit at the door, bro.
Hey, we're going through shit too. You should say.
Yeah.
I took a dump last night. You know what I mean? Like I'm still feeling
Stomach's
it.
upset.
I'm going through that. I understand you're. Listen, you need more money, and we need more money, but it's not us who's not fucking paying you.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, hey, you know, how about this? Pay Jonathan Taylor. Is that good?
Are we
Doing
friends?
my
Look at us.
job.
We're doing
my
it.
part.
We're on your
Yeah.
side.
You smile.
You don't have to be miserable to me, bro. I'm like,
Yeah.
come on. And Vinatieri would be like, you know how many times I've been fucked in negotiations?
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
that type of stuff you would hope would happen.
Yeah.
But with how standoffish he was being at the practice that I was watching, I don't think he was calling for anybody to come over and do anything. And I don't know if that is the type of personality they have on the offensive side of the ball. I think Anthony Richardson will be that guy at some point because he seems to be very with like everybody, but he has no idea. He doesn't know the
Shit on
NFL
his
at all.
plate.
He doesn't know the NFL business at all. He doesn't know Jonathan Taylor at all. That's like if we're 1 year from now, I think Anthony Richardson definitely doing a lot more leadership there. But right now, it's just an awkward thing. Him out of the building, I think is good.
Well-
but Jonathan, I hope you get paid.
Well, then,
But I don't think it's happening. But I hope you get paid.
Connor said he saw a report when Kareem Hunt was there yesterday. He saw practice and was like, "Oh yeah, I'm not signing with this team," and he left.
Okay.
Well,
there's no reason for any of that.
It's not exactly what I saw. What I saw was that Kareem Hunt heard that the city of Indianapolis is paying taxes for the stadium, and they only won 4 games last year. And Kareem Hunt said, "No way, I refuse to stand for something like that," and that's why he walked out.
That'd be a real babyface move.
That's what
for Kareem Hunt. If that is what he was thinking.
Yeah. Well, I think it was just because he's gone through some stuff. I think he wants to be over in a lot of people's minds, especially as he's trying to go to new cities. So that was, I think, his angle there. But who knows?
I do wonder how the hell he got out of there.
That's a good question.
Like, what happened? What is going on? Because he was in transit to the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah.
Gets a call, turn that fucking car around that the Saints are probably paying for, and go back to the airport and hop on a plane to Indianapolis. Yeah. So he does that. Boom. Goes to Indy. I'm excited. We're excited. Here we go. Even if Jonathan Taylor's back, sweet. We got Jonathan Taylor and Kareem Hunt.
Awesome.
This is good news.
Yeah.
This is great news. And then all of a sudden he gets out of the building without a deal, and it's like, that's probably just going to fizzle out. It's like, what got him to turn a car around?
Sure.
And then what happened whenever he got here that didn't take place? And is Jim Irsay just like, brother,
well,
we're not letting Lolita die.
Yeah.
And if we're going to pay anybody, it's going to be Jonathan Taylor. And then we're probably not going to pay him. So just maybe we play with no running back this year. Like, what happened in the meeting, honestly? And I don't need your bullshit.
No bullshit. This is just strictly based off what we've seen from Jim Irsay. I think there's a chance that maybe he lit a cigarette inside the room, no problems at all. They're just talking back and forth, and then Jim Irsay gets a call about Lolita in the middle of the meeting, and he says, "Sorry, Kareem, I need to take this. There's a Buddhist whale that I need to save, and if I don't pick up this phone right now, he might die."
And that's exactly what happened when he was at the McDaniels house whenever he went into the bathroom.
Right. Well,
and he took a call on Lolita in the bathroom.
Wow.
And there was a couple times where he was yelling, "Rah!" because he was so mad
breaking the sink
about what was happening. And then he comes back out, and the McDaniels thank him. They leave him like, did the guy just take a 2-hour shit in our bathroom right there?
It smells like cigs in here.
And then they hop in that plane, fly all the way to Indianapolis, and then they turn that thing back around. And allegedly, it's because McDaniel's wife said, like, remember when he dumped in our house?
Yeah, took a huge
2
shit,
hours?
and then he cranked stick in there. And what's going on? That's weird.
Cigarette smoke sticking to the walls.
I don't remember if that was real news or if we just made that up. The dump.
Oh.
I think
that was.
I think it was real news.
That was like legitimately reported. Yeah.
I think it was reported
that
news.
he like destroyed their toilet.
Yeah, and that was talked about by the McDaniels during their decision-making process.
Yes.
Okay, cool. I'm happy that wasn't real. Because in my brain, that is why he's not the Colts coach.
Yeah.
Joining us now is a man who's also not the Colts coach, but he is a great offensive lineman.
Oh, yeah.
Played for the Patriots, won a couple Super Bowls. Known, though, for being a New York Jet. His house is built like Caesar's Palace. Whenever he was on during COVID, it was one of the most royal and grand backdrops that all of television ever seen. He's a large man, but that's because he moved other large people. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Damian Woody.
What up, brother? What's going on?
Hey, we got a scene over here in Indianapolis with Jonathan Taylor, Kareem Hunt, and what the hell is happening. So our show is basically just a clusterfuck of football. You know that. We're thankful that you're here, though. D-Wood, you look good, baby.
D-Wood.
I feel good, brother. I saw you guys talking about somebody taking a dump. Like, you can't take a dump in the house, bro.
What do you want him to do? What do you want him to do?
Hold it.
Man, yeah, you got to hold that shit, bro. Like, you can't be taking a dump like that.
Yeah, so, I mean, it was good dinner. I heard there was some active ingredients in the dinner. Everybody knows that if Jim Irsay has corn or anything like that, it's going to, but that was actual news. Like, the McDaniels talked about Jim Irsay going to the bathroom for an hour and a half. And that is potentially the reason why he's not the head coach of the Indianapolis Colts. Let's talk about the New York Jets. And obviously, you've been talking about them a lot. And the reason why we wanted to chat with you today is because Greeny was seemingly losing his shit this morning because one particular part of the offense that hasn't been talked about in this entire celebratory tour that the New York Jets offense has been taking over the last 2 months is the offensive line. Everybody knows if you're going to actually win, you have to have a great offensive line. Have they not addressed that? Are they in some deep shit? How do they fix that? And is that ultimately going to be what breaks every single Jets fan's heart this upcoming season?
Well, listen, Pat, I can't speak for everyone else, but I've been a guy that's been vocal about question marks about the Jets offensive line coming into the season because they do have question marks there. Obviously, the interior part of the offensive line is pretty good. The question mark has always been the offensive tackles. We know that Dwayne Brown, who's 38 years old, the left tackle, he's on the PUP list, trying to work himself back from offseason shoulder surgery. Right now they got competition at right tackle between Billy Turner and Max Mitchell, and then the biggest wild card is Mekhi Becton, who's basically missed 2 years, coming back off of knee surgery. He's the most talented guy, but he hasn't played in 2 years. So you combine all of that, and it's like, what the hell? What the hell is going on as far as protecting Aaron Rodgers? Because, Pat, you and I know as good as Aaron Rodgers is or as good as, Pat Mahomes or some of these other quarterbacks, hell, if you're getting hit in the mouth, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If you can't protect the guys, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you think about Patrick Mahomes makes it all the way to that Super Bowl with a bad offensive line, and then he ends up running for his life. They lose.
Mm-hmm.
You think about Joe Burrow. They make it all the way to the AFC Championship with that bad offensive line, but it doesn't show up until it shows up.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like
That's
that,
right.
that is a real thing. So I think it's a worthy conversation to have. I think people, but there's ways to script around that, isn't it? Isn't there ways to kind of script around it? But I guess I just pointed out was, yeah, you can win with a bad offensive line, but you're not going to be able to do it. It's like you're not going to be able to get a championship. Can they make moves at this stage of the game in the NFL calendar to get a championship caliber offensive line, you think?
Yeah, listen, a couple of years ago, a guy by the name of Morgan Moses, who's now with the Baltimore Ravens, he actually was cut by the Washington Commanders during training camp. The Jets had signed him, and he had a hell of a year. He ended up signing a free agent deal with the Baltimore Ravens last offseason. So, these type of things can happen, but I think ultimately, listen, the Jets last year went 7-10 with arguably the worst quarterback situation, with the offensive line that was completely in flux with all the injuries, and they almost made the postseason. So when you add in Aaron Rodgers, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL history, a guy that knows his offense, that knows the ins and outs of it, the quarterback play will help the offensive line. But I think what we're talking about right now, Pat, is these guys got to be on the field. Like, they haven't been on the field together as a starting unit. They haven't been on the field together as a starting unit. So that's what we need to see out of those guys. Get those big boys on the field so they can start playing together.
Yeah, because they might be the best offensive line in the NFL. We have no fucking idea.
Yeah.
You know, that is the funny thing about the offensive line. It's like if 5 dudes come together and for whatever reason it works, like it can happen, and you can pay the most amount of money to an offensive line and it not work somehow. It's an interesting position group, and hopefully that won't be the downfall of the Jets or for Aaron, although Aaron can
move.
Hey, he's in good shape right now.
Oh, he looks good. He looks real good. I've been out to a couple practices. He looks good.
Yeah.
You should see his body guru. Is there like a 6'5" Hugh Jackman at practice whenever you go there?
No. Well, I mean, who are you talking about? Alan Lazard? Like, I don't know. Like,
no.
Alan
Lazard is a beast, but Aaron's got a body guru that is currently working with him.
I haven't seen that guy. I haven't seen that guy.
You don't know when. You will know when you see
Is he jacked?
Jocked, dude. Real tall. Has vascularity on his calves, bro.
Bro, you think I can hire him? Maybe I can get him to work me back in.
What are we doing? So I did see that you're on reality TV for the weight loss thing, right?
Yeah, that was like a decade ago.
Okay, so you did that.
Yeah.
I'm a guy that my weight fluctuates like 50 pounds every off season because I enjoy eating. I enjoy that. And then I get to a point where I'm like, man, you got to stop being a fat ass. Like, let's get into shape. And then all of a sudden I'll get lazy and I'm out of it again. So I do not have good control on my weight. For you, are you battling with that still? And are we getting into fighting shape anytime soon? Is that the plan?
I'm definitely getting into fighting shape. But the problem is, Pat, it's like I love bacon too much. Like, I love bacon and, all the shit that they say is bad for you. I love it too much. So it's always going to be a constant battle for me. Listen, man, I can smell food and gain 5 pounds. So shit's always going to be a problem.
Hey, bacon, though, you should get on that keto.
Yeah, I think I will, man. Listen, bacon is part of my DNA. So, I can never get rid of that.
Okay, so keto is your... And then you have a sweet tooth as well?
I'm a fat guy. I always have a sweet tooth. Like
I wanted to ask.
I'm always eating some shit that's bad for you.
Could you imagine me just saying to you, yeah, and I could tell you have a sweet tooth too. So like
Cupcake.
that would have been rude to me. You know what I mean? Especially going to ESPN with Disney.
Right.
You know, me just
Yeah.
Pat McAfee fat shames Damian Woody. You know, that whole thing. But like
Listen, that's okay. I'm not sensitive about it. I'm good.
well, that's always the thing. It's not about the person. It's always about how everybody else.
Yeah,
that's a much larger conversation anyways that we will not dive into. But keto has these like incredible sweets too. Like it is
delicious.
It has worked for me really well. And if you love bacon, I think you should potentially dive in there. Cholesterol going to go through the roof.
Sure.
Yep.
Going to have to manage that because you're eating terrible food literally all day somehow and losing weight. But it's a good thing. Anyways, Connor has a question for you, D Wood.
Yeah, D Wood. One of the things of this training camp has been, Bryce Young, him kind of getting acclimated with the NFL, but also just being a rookie. And I believe it was Bradley Bozeman who came out and said that Bryce Young actually gave a speech and was trying to teach a protection the way that he wanted it with the O-lineman. Have you ever heard anything like that from a rookie this early on in training camp? And what do you think about Bryce Young thus far from what you've seen?
I have not heard that, but it wouldn't surprise me. This dude is super smart. Like, I think he's the most advanced guy to come out of Alabama at the quarterback position in years. And, I mean, think about this. Alabama's had, I think, they got like 4 quarterbacks right now that's going to be starting over the span of the last 6 years. We talked about it on Get Up, but, Bryce Young, man, he's a guy that he's always seemed like early on in his Bama career, he had command of the huddle, knew exactly what he needed to do. Everyone talked about his size, but he's been used to that his whole playing career. So, listen, when it comes to Bryce Young, I'm all in on Bryce Young. I think Bryce Young is going to have a phenomenal start to his career starting this year with his rookie year.
Damian, you said that if you smell food, you gain 3 pounds. It's a lot of big dudes out there on a football field. Does that worry you at all about Bryce? That's the only knock, right? Is that he's not the prototypical size. It's the only knock.
No, I don't actually. Initially, I was worried about it. But again, Pat, man, like he's been dealing with this his whole career. Everyone has been talking about how slight and how small he is, but all he's done is, become an All-American quarterback, a Heisman Trophy winner, the #1 overall pick, being at his size. So I think it's a guy, he's been used to it. It doesn't bother him. He knows how to, avoid these type of hits. And I think the dude just got a great head on his shoulder, very high football IQ.
Yeah, that's all anybody has been raving about. Yeah. Adam Thielen came on and was like, he knew in like day 2 or something where the ball was supposed to go against what coverage already. And Thielen actually got started because it was on him so quick. The ball was on him so quick, and he was like read 3 or whatever. And Bryce had already bang, bang, bang got to him. And Thielen was like, oh, this dude.
He's a dude.
Guy fucking gets it.
Yeah, he knows.
Seems like he gets it, and that's feels like everybody's saying that. Tone has a question for you.
Yeah, D-Wood, there's the story coming out about how potentially players in Washington are going up to Ron Rivera and saying Bieniemy is being mean and treating him too hard. What do you feel about that? And how do you think Rex or Bill would have reacted if you would have said like, "Oh, the OC's being mean to me today"?
Oh, boo-hoo! Who fucking cares? Like seriously, like Bieniemy wouldn't even be in Washington if you guys were handling fucking business out there with the Washington Commanders. Right. I mean, you're talking about a guy coming in who's been to 5 straight AFC Championship games, won 2 Super Bowls, coached Pat Mahomes, coached Travis Kelce, coached Tyreek Hill, and you guys want to bitch and moan about his coaching style? Like, get over yourselves, man. Like, you guys get paid a lot of money, obviously trying to change the culture out there with the Commanders, and you guys want to run to the head coach saying that, oh, this guy's coached me hard. Like, dude, everybody just needs to shut the hell up.
Yeah, we agree with you. I mean, it's a tough look for sure. If it's week 7 and their offense has been the worst in the NFL and this dude is mean to them every day and a miserable person and it's not working, then it makes sense that there's like anonymous sources getting out that like, hey, offensive side of the ball in Washington hates their lives. Eric Bieniemy has no idea what he's doing, and they stink. Haven't even played a game yet. We have no idea if they're going to be good. Players have no idea if they're going to be good, although I guess they get a sense that they're not. Different generation, D-Wood. Different generation. Yeah. Pac-Man has a question for you.
D-Wood, Hall of Fame. Joe Thomas just went to the Hall of Fame. My question is, do you agree with it, and who do you think should be next?
Oh, absolutely. Joe Thomas was like the Iron Man. Think about, Pac-Man, think about this, bro. Think about, he was on some awful Cleveland Browns team.
Horrible.
And he was like horrible team.
Horribly bad.
You play like a decade and don't miss a game. Don't miss a snap because you're out there just giving it your all and playing at such a high level. He was like the best tackle of his era, during his time while he was playing football. So I have so much respect for Joe Thomas because we know when you're playing with a perennially bad team, bad organization, sometimes you just sandbag it. But that dude played at an extremely high level.
Yeah, I can wear you down. It can wear you down mentally.
Yeah.
Every day going in there, like, I'm doing everything for this place, and this place has done nothing for me.
Yeah.
And instead he feels the complete opposite.
Yes.
He's like very thankful for the Browns.
Gave me everything.
Everything. He absolutely loves the city. I appreciate him. He's one of the mentally toughest dudes of all time, though. Yeah. That's a real deal. Because I was a part of one losing season. Bad.
Really bad losing.
Really bad. We earned number 1 that year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Orlovsky almost ruined. Orlovsky almost ruined number 1. He brought some happiness. But that whole building is miserable.
Yeah.
The whole building, the chefs, the equipment managers, the trainers, the ticket salespeople, the sponsorship people, the general manager. Every coach thinks they're getting fired every single day. Every player thinks they're getting cut. That is like a hell atmosphere professionally. You're getting paid a lot of money. So suck it up. But still, your experience is a miserable one. To do that for a decade and still show up at the highest level it's phenomenal. It's why he's Joe Thomas. Yeah. Ty, last question here for you, D-Wood. We appreciate you.
Yeah, D-Wood, This morning, Greeny was kind of pounding the drum that he wants the Jets to go out and trade for David Bakhtiari to maybe try to shore up their offensive line. As a Packers fan, Bakhtiari 3 years ago was arguably the best left tackle in the league. And then the last 2 years, he tears an ACL and then just for whatever reason doesn't ever really recover from it. Maybe it's mental or whatever, has missed a lot of games. As a former offensive lineman, how hard is it to actually get back to where you used to be? And do you see Bakhtiari finally returning to form this year when he's kind of been a shell of himself the last 2 years?
Man, it's so hard, man. It really is. As you get older, man, Pat will be able to tell you, and Pac-Man as well, it just gets harder to recover. That's the whole thing. I remember, when I first came into the league, I could go out there and play. I'd go out there and play a game, and I could go out and play another one. And you see the veteran guys, they're going to get in the cold tub, and they need days off. Man, but as you get older, all of a sudden you don't start feeling right until latter part of the week. I remember my last year, I didn't even start feeling normal until Friday, Saturday.
No, you got a Thursday night game. You got a Thursday night game, though.
Oh, well, you got to pop something, pop some pills or something.
No, player safety. Player safety. No, we're talking about player safety.
Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, we're gonna be PG and say player safety, but you're gonna do what you got to do to get out there and play on Thursday. So it's hard, man. Just to say the least, it's hard to get out there.
D-Wood, you big guys, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, late in the season, just every step is miserable. Ankles. These guys are 300 and some. Yeah. They're moving very fast,
and
right?
Every play.
Every single play.
We're cattle. We're cattle.
Whatever.
Cattle.
I don't want to. I don't want ankles, knees, hips, obviously shoulders, and we have a headache too. Yeah. Why? Well, we ran our head into somebody 60 times on Sunday.
Right.
And then that's when that Thursday night game got introduced. You heard a lot of the big guys how? How are we
impossible?
How are we even going to do that? That was the biggest thing. Now it's just normal. Now it's just got to be ready. They eat better allegedly, so that helps everybody. I don't know.
And you don't practice that week anyway, though.
What, after or
Thursday,
before?
That Thursday night.
It's
game.
walkthrough. Yeah, still, I saw some big dudes. Hey, thanks for your service, dude.
Yeah. Thank you, D-Wood.
Thank you for your service.
Man, I appreciate you guys having me on, man.
Hey, thanks for coming. Are you on TV all day today?
No, I'm getting the hell out of here now. I'm good.
Are we growing beard out, or what are we doing?
Yeah, I'm still on summer vacation right now. I'll clean up when we get close to the week 1.
Smart. Yeah, this is Summerwood.
Yeah.
Summerwood. Got it.
Yeah, that's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Damian Woody, thank you, buddy. All right, let's get to a break. He doesn't seem to be worried. How about him saying there was actually an offensive lineman that was taken after training camp that went on to have a great year. Morgan Moses?
Yeah.
Moses Morgan. That was a good little So it has been done before.
Sure.
That was a nice little piece of optimism there.
They had another guy too. I think it was Dwayne Brown. Maybe
He's on the Jets right now.
Yeah, they still have.
okay, still
He's on
have.
PvP.
He's on the pup.
You legitimately have no idea if the crew's going to be good, though.
Right, because chemistry is everything.
Everything.
Remember the Bengals at the beginning of last year? It was like, oh, they got all these
First
guys.
like 7 weeks.
Yeah, it was like Micah, TJ Watt. Like their O-line was the reason they lost those early games.
They figured it out.
Like it took them a little.
Not just early games.
It took
they
them
go back.
7 weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
Super
It took them
Bowls.
about 7-8 weeks to start gelling
But then they
and
did.
playing with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they did. Yeah.
That was a great
But
group.
it
They
took a
invested
little
in
time.
it, though, right?
Yeah, they did.
The Bengals
Again.
invested
Yeah,
in
they
it.
did.
I think it was 4 new starters from the year before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now they have Orlando Brown at left tackle.
And I don't want to do this because Colts
It's
offensive
gonna be
line
pretty good.
was in the spot that they were in, but that was like the highest paid offensive line in the league.
Yeah.
And one year they were very good. Almost had an MVP at running back. And then last year everything was just shit. And it's like, what happened? What? Oh, the quarterback didn't know.
Yeah, didn't know anything.
Yeah.
For the 5th straight year.
Great.
Couldn't run.
Great.
And the Bengals have Ted Karras. Indy needs Ted Karras.
We had him. He's
Yeah.
from here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rope hat.
What's that hat? Who you shilling for today?
I don't even remember. Oh, it's Pearl Jam. I'll shill for Pearl Jam fucking all day, every day.
Yesterday-
I bought this one.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good ball.
What are some Pearl Jam songs that I would know?
Even flow.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yep.
Banger.
Yeah.
They're coming to Indianapolis in September, I guess.
They are September 10th.
No way.
Only like $1,000 for a lawn seat.
September 10th. That's
Welcome to show business.
Well
man.
worth it, baby.
first NFL Sunday.
I think Taylor Swift's tickets got released before the codes for her fans got it, and they're on the secondary ticket markets. And I think like $4,000 or something.
yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, that's a whole thing.
Pay it too.
Yeah.
Need to see it.
Yep.
She is a dog, dude.
Showman. Showwoman.
My
She's
wife was not happy.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
She's an absolute beast.
I didn't get a code.
You tried though.
I tried. I
You see what
signed up.
happened
All
last
right, you
night?
can spend a little bit of that money
That's right.
going on a secondary market. Why don't you get a suite? Why don't you really be a hero
Yeah.
and get a suite for
We can all
everybody
go.
in the office? to
Come
be
on,
able to go
Tone.
to?
Nice.
You know, all this-
Refinance
Come
your
on,
house.
Tone.
that could be the DeJulio gift.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
Perfect.
The DeJulia.
Yep. I'll sell my house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't need to sell it. Just refinance
For a
it.
suite.
Refinance
Not
it.
just a suite; it's a Swifty
Yeah.
suite.
That's what I mean.
Ball game.
Come
What's
on,
that?
Tony.
$250,000?
I would assume it's going to be something like that.
Yeah. Some supermodel had to sit in the bleachers yesterday. It was all over Twitter.
I don't know much about the supermodels until
Giselle?
they come into our lives. Like when Tom Brady either has a baby with one or gets married to another one or starts dating another one after a divorce with one of them.
Yep.
And then Logan Paul, now I'm learning a lot about his
Man, oh man.
fiance. I did not know anything about this woman. Now I know a lot. That's the fight game, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't love it.
Cold
There's
world.
no respect in
Yeah.
the fight game.
They're really.
They're not.
All's fair in love and war.
This isn't war. This is just a boxing match.
No, that's war.
Hell yeah.
What's going on with McGregor?
I don't know. He posted a selfie in his undies.
Yeah, we were
Said,
talking
good
about
night,
that.
sexies.
It's kind of a fucking weirdo.
He's a little bit of a wacko.
That was weird.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, he knocked out a 95-year-old like 2 years ago, so that was.
Yeah, and I would assume that he would say, a little boozed up on some forged stout.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Plus, that old man was running his fucking mouth.
He was. He ordered a Bushmills instead of a proper 12,
Yeah.
and
Can't have it.
not in my
Sometimes.
bar.
That's what
Yeah.
Connor
Night, night.
said.
Exactly.
I mean, Connor's certainly not done life perfectly. He's a fighter. You know,
Right.
people
Yeah,
that are
kinda,
stepping
yeah.
in the
Sure.
fight,
What do you expect?
there's going to be some stuff. John Jones got in trouble. It's like,
Yeah.
he signs up to go in.
Tries to kill people for a
There's a
living.
chance they're not going to be angels
Right.
that go into the wish they were.
Yeah.
That'd be
But,
cool.
but I do believe the way the humans are constructed, couple traits that you have to get into a fight. There's a chance that there's some other ones in there that come kind of alongside those traits every once in a while. Not everybody, but I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying seems to be reality
Yes.
in the fight game since the beginning of the fight game.
Yeah.
What a movie character Conor McGregor is, though.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Just a character.
Yeah.
Yes.
I follow him, obviously. Mm-hmm. I don't know about the good night sexies, the post he sent to me last night. And I don't know why my Instagram algorithm's like, Pat, you need
You
to see
gotta
a naked
see
Conor
this.
McGregor.
This is for you, Pat.
They know.
Him driving the Lambo boat, though. I'd love to see more of that.
That's sweet.
He goes on a run where it's just like, he uses that voice thing on Twitter.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
It's like, and then he'll just say, all right, I'm going to go just live my life here. I think the world needs a little Conor McGregor. Let me jump right back in.
Floyd.
Yeah, comes into
Floyd.
it. What a movie character, bro. Movie character. Let's get to a break. We'll be back on the other side with AJ Hawk. Also, Fred Taylor will be joining us in about 10 minutes from The Pivot, a man who's not in the Hall of Fame, but a lot of his peers all believe he should be. So that's a good conversation we'll have. And then third hour, we got Michael Lombardi coming in, talking some real shit. Can't wait for that. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. Take 5.
Welcome to #TBT Fave Football, where each week one of us will be going through one of our favorite games from the past NFL season. Week 1 will be me. Week 2, Boston Connor. For this first game, I have chosen Week 17, Steelers, Ravens, Sunday Night Football. Why did I choose this game? Well, the Steelers at this point were 7-8, okay? On the verge of Mike Tomlin's first losing season as a Steelers head coach. The last time the Steelers had played the Baltimore Ravens, just a few weeks before, Kenny Pickett got knocked out by the rival Baltimore Ravens, so this is a big game for him. The week before this, Kenny Pickett threw a game-winning touchdown to George Pickens against the Raiders. So this was a big momentum game, still in playoff contention. Now the game, first quarter, second quarter, not much happened until 9 seconds left in the second quarter. Isaiah Likely scores a touchdown, huge touchdown. Ravens go up 7 right before half. How were they here? A very, very ill-timed, ill-advised penalty by Cam Hayward, a leader, a captain of the team. After they had just got off the field on third down, a personal foul sets up the Ravens for a touchdown. Isaiah Likely going up 10-3 at half. Let's roll into the second half. We have played 2.5 quarters. We have 3 points, 3rd and 14 on their own 35. Kenny drops back. Oh my God, the dog himself, okay? Mr. George Pickens out of Georgia comes up with an incredible catch on 3rd and 14. They have been doing nothing all game. 3rd and 14, huge catch, just past the sticks. Does this lead to a touchdown? No, this is not what the Steelers and Ravens rivalry is. But it does lead to a 51-yard field goal by Chris Boswell, the Boz himself, just absolutely fucking drilled, okay? We needed it for momentum. You can't just go 13-3 into the fourth quarter. That's not something we need. 3rd and 4, we need something. We pick up something here. Deontay Johnson runs a beautiful route. Oh, stick your foot in the ground and get back. Okay, wide open. Oh, make a miss. Let's go. It ends with another Chris Boswell field goal, but that's okay. The Ravens so far in the second quarter have gone 4 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. They have done absolutely nothing this quarter. This is huge. Ravens get this first down here. They could potentially run out the clock in the game. Offense doing nothing this half, but let's see what they do here on this play. Okay, run up the middle. Stuffed. Absolutely stuffed. The same guy who made a mistake earlier. Look at him just, oh, Ronnie Stanley, you're a good player. No. Cam Hayward drives him back into the backfield. Stop on 3rd and 4. Huge. Huge. Why is this huge? Because they punt the ball. Steelers get the ball back. 2 minutes left on their own 30 here. Kenny Pickett rolls out. Now, Kenny, we've been talking about lately, athlete, rolls out, huge pass to Muth. Now here is the throw of the game, the play of the game. Drills a ball down the seam to Steven Sims. And look, that's an NFL throw, okay? For those of you who said Kenny Pickett, yeah, he's got 2 gloves, he's got small hands, he's a college quarterback. No, that's an NFL throw down the seam, okay? This is one of the moments where I said, oh, is that a first-round pick? Mr. Hamilton? Yeah, you are. Over you. That's an NFL throw. These are the throws that built up Kenny in his rookie season that made us believe here coming into the second season. 1 minute left, 13-9, 3rd and 8. Absolutely need it. We get some pressure up in the face. Oh, Kenny, athlete, rolls right. Nosh! Touchdown! Kenny leads the offense down for a game-winning drive for the second week in a row, and his allure, his story in Pittsburgh continues to build. 11 plays, 80 yards, 320. Now, not only did they go down and score, they left barely any time left. 56 seconds for an offense that hasn't done anything, but they still have some time. Here we go, though. 20 seconds left. Rolls out. Minka. Fucking ball game. Minka. Steelers moved to 8-8. They win out. Now, did they make the playoffs? No. But Mike Tomlin saved a no-losing season. You know, it was something that we could build on. Did we get? Yeah. The legend of Kenny motherfucking Pickett. And that was my favorite game of this 2022 season. Next week, Boston Connor will be giving you his. And this was the first rendition of hashtag TBT Fave Football.
It's nice to see that there's still Ken Dorsey's out there, though.
Yeah.
We're talking full fucking fit. Whenever this game ended without them being able to spike it and take a long field goal or whatever the fuck they were going to do. Ken Dorsey here closest. He's a married man, got a medal. Oh, you fucking it, we did it!
Damn it!
We talked about this all week. We talked about it all week. Get the fuck down!
Son of a bitch.
Break this fucking thing.
Yeah, I love how the other coach too is looking over like, oh shit, I
Ball
didn't know
guy?
Ken had. Yeah, I didn't. Maybe he didn't know Ken had this in him.
And the bearded guy should feel good about how he looks right now.
Yeah,
Bearded guy's ponytail, fucking great.
Great.
top notch.
Beard, unbelievable.
Gumpy.
Looks to be a bit of a thick, stout gentleman. But Ken Dorsey losing his fucking bananas.
Hat.
Taking this, get this. Why is this in front of me right now? Get out of my way, dude. Why are you still on the desk, bro? Fuck you.
Fucking thing.
Bang.
Hey, fuck. Oh, he's
Bang.
going to get fined for that.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to get fined for that. Tom
lot.
Brady, 1 week ago, broke a Microsoft Surface. Now there's a rule. Hey, no players or coaches are allowed to break anything. Did he break? He's getting fined for that.
100%.
Oh, no.
I thought that's why he was trying to cover the camera at the end.
Oh, so he was saying, hey, fuck. No, I don't think he was trying to cover it. I think he was saying, find me, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like, I
Fuck
think,
you too.
boom.
Hey, somebody else came and covered the camera, though. Whatever other coach put his hand over that camera.
No, I think that was Dorsey. I think it was.
No,
Yes.
watch his hand come in.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Shit,
it's a right
shit,
hand.
shit.
Oh, my God. I didn't even notice that, AJ.
Yeah, you think he's going to cover the camera in the middle of that rant?
No,
You
I think
he's going to kill somebody.
I thought that was the shit he
Yeah,
threw.
throw it.
Something at it.
No, I watched it a few times. That's a hand.
Wow.
Hey, that's good teamwork.
AJ.
Yeah.
That's good teamwork up there. Now, I do believe he's going to get fined for the Microsoft Surface bash after the Tom Brady one became a rule. And maybe that's what the coworker said. Oh, come on, Ken, there's a camera.
They can see you.
There's a camera. Jesus, you're going to go viral.
Sorry, Ken.
They're riding in that elevator down to the locker room after the game. And Ken's standing there with his fucking papers all disheveled and Microsoft Surface cracked screen. And his notebook's been ripped in half because he has superhero strength at that moment. It's like he's ripping a fucking phone book. And they hit the basement button to go down there. At some point, there was an awkward silence. The bearded guy is looking to his left. The bald guy's like, oh. And then whoever covered that up was like, you're going to go viral.
Hey,
What?
let's go.
This show fucking stinks. And the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it.
AJ, you never cease to amaze me with your toxicity, pal.
You got a couple of these?
God damn it!
What the fuck are you doing?
Fuck Boston Connor.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Thursday, August 10th, 2023. Hour 2 of this program starts right now. Football is happening tonight. 2 preseason games, the Texans and the Patriots, the Vikings and the Seahawks. We'll talk about that and more for the next 2 hours. We have the Toxic Table here at Boston Connor and at Boston Connor's Mullet. Sorry, Ty. Jeez Louise.
It's all right.
Jeez Louise.
Okay.
It's all right.
Do you want to run the intro back?
No. I am a little flustered just because of how damn good you look in that Pro Jam hat. That's Ty Schmidt, one half of the Hammer. Dahn. Cowboys Tone Diggs is here. 14-year NFL vet and icon Pac-Man Jones live in the Thunderdome. And joining us now in an attic in Ohio is a man who's a college football national champion, a Super Bowl champion, the all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, father of 10, COVID survivor, AJ Hawk. AJ, how you doing, pal?
Oh, I'm doing great, pal. How you doing?
Hey, I'm great. Thanks for asking. Have we learned anything about anything since yesterday in the Hawk department?
As far as what?
Anything about anything in the Hawk department? Football, life. AJ, what would you like to kind of kick off the AJ Hawk hours?
Ohio State?
In a conversation about.
Did something happen that I don't know about? Am I unaware of something that you guys think is a big deal?
It's a talk show. Okay, all I'm asking is for you to talk. That's all, you know what I mean? Just say, what does AJ Hawk want to talk about?
How you pose the question is a bit weird, I would say, for sure. I know you're just buying time because Fred Taylor is probably on the line waiting. I get it. But I don't know whatever this foolishness that you're doing.
If I was buying time, he wouldn't be on the line.
Klein.
With that being said, I was buying time because he was not on the line.
Right.
But now, ladies and gentlemen, joining us is a guy who is an absolute legend in the football world. All of his peers believe he should be in the Hall of Fame. That's because when he was on the field, he was impossible to tackle and an absolute dog. Now he's one of the hosts of the Pivot Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, Fred Taylor.
You guys are crazy, man. AJ, listen, bro, I wanted to knuckle up against you, but we never crossed paths. But I wanted to give you the business, bro.
How come?
I wanted to see what you was made of.
Oh, I like
Fred,
that.
the problem with you, Fred, is you're obviously a stout, powerful dude that runs super hard, but I can't take you low because your legs are too damn big, too. So that's why I'm glad I never faced you, Fred. It would not have been fun. It would not have been fun. I need to help my buddies.
You know what? No, it's just my way of saying good career. I got to watch my language. We're not on YouTube anymore.
No,
I got to watch my language.
We are.
You know what I'm saying?
We are, and we always will be. Yeah. Now, granted, if you let that fly here in a little bit, a date to be announced when we go on ESPN, it might get muted, might slip through, but you can certainly let any fuck fly that you would like on this particular day. We want you to be as comfortable as ever because we're all big fans of yours, and I do appreciate you telling that face on the other side of the screen, like I wish we would have had a chance to potentially cause CTE to each other. Like I really like that, and I think that's why everybody respects and appreciates you as a football player. Let's just dive right into it right now. Everything we just chatted about there, you were like known as just hard-nosed guy, huh? Running hard, hard-nosed, put an entire city on your back potentially at the running back position. It's obviously not like that in a lot of places anymore. I think in Tennessee with Derrick Henry, it's like that. That is their identity. We're going to beat you up. I think Christian McCaffrey out in San Francisco, pretty pivotal part of their identity and their offense. He just got traded out there last year. But everywhere else, it's not really like what it was like back in the day. And that's potentially why the running back position is in the situation that it's in right now. What are your thoughts on it all? And have you reached out to anybody to ask how they feel about it as well?
You know, I want to add one guy who I think we all can consider might be the best back in the NFL right now, Nick Chubb. He's been healthy. Okay. He's been kicking ass. And, you know, with the addition of Deshaun Watson, who should also, you know, increase their run game output, I think prior to that, you know, he's just been a consummate pro. He doesn't say much. He just gets the job done. And you would expect teams would look at what he's done, look at his value, and say, you know, we have to pay this guy. So there are not many guys like that left. But when you talk about a guy who can carry a load, put his team on his shoulder, you got to talk about Nick Chubb. The running back thing, it's a mess right now, you know, and it's going to be that way until the next CBA comes about, I believe. It has to be done in black and white. There's not a whole lot they can do right now. Obviously, the teams have all of the leverage. And I think what it comes down to is really what they think about you as a character person, as a talent on the field. You know, what you do in the local community. I think all those things can contribute to you potentially getting the payday you deserve. Because if that doesn't apply, then what they're going to say is, you know, you can be hurt next. Because I think the process is, I get a guy early in the first round, we give him guaranteed money at 22. We get him, we do the 5, we exercise his 5th year. Now he's 27, 28, tag him for a year. And then after that, he's 30, which is when they try and say that's your decline. But a lot of these guys are amazing. They block, they catch, and they run their asses off. And I think deservingly so, they should be compensated accordingly. But, you know, the league plays these games and they kind of pick and choose. There's always younger guys hungry and ready to go. In the run game, they believe they can put anybody back there. So it's just a messed up position to be in. But I think all of those guys that are extremely talented, they're definitely worth, you know, their certain packages.
Yeah, it's a weird time for the running back position for sure. Dalvin Cook's still out there. I'll be excited to see what he gets. You know what I mean? Yeah. His contract.
The longer it takes, though, the longer he's out there, the more leverage you're putting back on these teams. Yeah. So I think Dalvin, or at least if I was his agent, I would say, look, we got to be in camp somewhere here, you know, pretty soon. Otherwise, the ball is going to kick off. It's going to be the regular season. They're going to fill their rosters, and then you're not going to have that room to negotiate, especially if you have these young, hungry guys that have been waiting on their opportunities to get out there with a pretty good offensive line or whatever it might be. These guys get out there and they're averaging, 4 yards a carry. Teams believe they can get it done at that rate. So I think you get in camp right now. And, whatever comes from that moment, you take advantage of it.
I haven't even thought about that particular aspect of it. Like, you don't get into camp. You're just assuming that some team is going to need a running back. But there's also a chance on the flip side that some of these other running backs that are worth $300,000 or $400,000 at veteran min, if they can pop off 3.5, 4 yards for the offensive system that you need, it's like, why are we going to go sign a vet who has mileage on him? And I haven't even thought about that. I hope Dalvin Cook signs with the Colts tomorrow. But whatever number he gets is going to be talked about everywhere. Because you think about Yannick Ngakoue. What did he just sign for?
10 million.
10-5. And then there was some other free agent at a position that wasn't running back that just signed. Or Judon just got 16.
Yeah, Judon got 16. Then Cole Kmet got a $50 million extension.
So there's deals happening for other positions that are worth money. Wide receiver. I mean, Odell Beckham Jr. gets 13.5, and then Nuke gets $32 million or something like that over 2 years or something. So there is money being put out in different places. So Dalvin Cook's contract is going to be talked about a lot, whatever it is. I just went with the Colts, and I like your also game shape, right? I know he's in incredible shape. He's from Miami. Miami guys are always in shape. I mean, that's just kind of what they're known for. They work their asses off. But just getting dropped in there, so he knows his body better than I do. I think wanting to get into a system and get comfortable would be something you want to do. Come to the Colts, bro. Anyways, AJ has a question for you, Fred.
Fred, you mentioned that with the running backs, things might not happen until the next CBA. What could they put in that CBA, you think, to help these running backs out? You have to spend a certain amount per position or things like that?
I think it all comes down to the franchise clause. At the end of the day, it should be what it says. If you're the franchise player, pay me accordingly. And if you don't, I mean, when I say that is, if I'm the franchise player, how about putting me in the category of the high
Fred, we have to stop. We have to stop. This is a great answer. And we will definitely dive back into this. What the fuck did you just drink? Something came out of your mouth. Did you just loogie into a cup right there?
You know what? I'm drinking my mushroom coffee. And I had a little kickback because when I was rushing to hurry up so I wouldn't be late. And some of the opening from the container got in the cup. So it's just a little piece, man.
Okay, are you okay?
I didn't lose you. Come on, brother. I am solid.
Okay.
I got my mushroom coffee. I'm good to go, man. I'm good.
I was worried.
I was worried, bro. Something came out. You know what I mean? You're sitting there, something came out. Is everything okay?
This is exactly why I love you guys, man. I love this show, bro. Every time I'm invited on, I just sit back and think, man, you guys are so fucking cool and awesome. And, you're leading the way, bro. Keep doing what you're doing because we look at you guys as the blueprint and we like to be somewhere close to where you guys are at some point. But I know it's the grind. You put in work. Just going to salute you. But I love this show, man. Y'all just fucking don't care. You care, but you don't care. I love it.
Had to know about that. Had to find out what was happening if you're okay. Thank you for the kind words. You guys are obviously crushing it at the Pivot. We are big fans of your work. Obviously.
Appreciate it.
The booking you guys have been doing lately, hey, come on. Not easy. That shit's not easy. You're traveling, too, doing it all. You guys are crushing it. We appreciate the love very much and keep going. Happy you're okay. Yeah, I thought, you know what I mean?
Never know.
I'm like, hey, listen, man, if you got stuff going on, you don't
I'm solid.
Get out of here.
Mushroom coffee.
I'm good.
Hey, that's good mushrooms we're taking right now?
No psychedelics. It's no psychedelics. It's just the good mushrooms. They all have different benefits. So this is the good stuff. This is actually my company. This is a new space that we're active in. So it has a lot of benefits that has helped me. So hopefully it'll help everybody else that gives it a shot.
How do I buy it?
Online. We're not live yet. We're still building.
Beta.
The samples are in. We're getting a tasting done. So when we go live, I'll definitely make sure you guys get a package.
Yeah, I love mushrooms, all of them. And if you're going to make psychedelic ones too, send those. Send those all right. But anyway,
when they legalize it, I think we have the perfect name, the Mushroom Coffee Company. We'll be right in line. So when they legalize psychedelics, it'll just kind of carry over, and we'll be able to insert the psychedelics into the coffee. win-win across the board.
Yeah, so I'll tell you what, that'll be a lot better than those peanut butter pieces of bread with, shit mushrooms on it, or pizza. They put it on pizza, it tastes good. It's like, well, it doesn't taste like pizza anymore. What's it taste like? Well, it tastes like cow shit. That's because that is where this comes from. But the next 6 hours are about to be a great time. Anyways, AJ, back to your question. I apologize. We just learned Fred Taylor's okay, and business is booming.
Yeah, let's go.
Business is booming. Happy for you, Fred. Go ahead, AJ. Run that back.
I mean, I don't even remember exactly what we were talking about. Some with the CBA, I guess, and the running backs, what they could do and put in place for the next CBA.
Correct. Yeah, no, I think just honoring the franchise tag for what it is. If you're going to franchise me, how about pay me like a franchise player, if that's what you think of me? And I think that would either be matching the highest salary on the team on an annual perspective, or if that's not the case, let's use the franchise tag. If you're going to still pay me from a position perspective, how about pay me as the top guy at that position? So, for example, as a running back, Christian McCaffrey is averaging $16 million per year. If you're going to franchise tag me at the $16 million per year number, and then if you're going to tag me again in year 2, if I outplay this number, then let's include an escalator. I think those franchise tags, if nothing else, should come with escalator clauses, because if you can tag me 3 times,
two now.
I should, 2 times. I apologize. It should be some sort of kicker clause in there, or clause that escalate. Because the downside is long term. I lose out on the long term, and that's what you're betting on. You're betting on that I do not play for an extended period of time. And again, for running backs at the 30-year-old mark, they think you're going to decline, but running backs have shown that they can also ascend after 30 years of age. A lot of guys have done it. The numbers are small, but guys are capable.
Have you been franchise tagged before?
Never. I always, and the reason because, Pat, is I had X amount of injuries in my career. So for me, it was a bird in the hand is better than 2 in the bush.
Oh, I like
that.
And
I always wanted to get out there and grind and show people that I was worthy. It's just timing in my career on a lot of instances, from injuries, a lot of other things. I was just never in position to go out there and have a valid argument and show them this is what I'm worth. So I took whatever I was able to grab to go and take care of my family.
This is in 420p, the quality of the video is a little lower than it is today. But you had Jets, power, and a team that loved running the football. Okay. What a perfect match made in heaven down there.
That run right there, man. I love that run against Tampa, man.
Okay.
That run, I told Warren Sapp I was going to bust their ass my rookie year. Pause. And he was like, don't write a check your ass can't cash. He tackled me on the first 2 plays of the game. I lost like -8. But this was the game-winning run, 71-yarder. Shout out Tony Baselli, big 71, for a game-winning touchdown. And we got the last laugh.
You're way too late.
This one here is still, yeah. That was fun, man. Look at that.
Pulling away from corners.
That's still a playoff record right there. That's still an NFL playoff record right there. 90 yards against the fence.
Last question for me before Pax. How heavy are you right there?
Oh, right there in this run right here?
Yeah.
I was 228 right there.
That guy's 165 pounds, 170 pounds chasing a 220. You would have done really well in this generation, huh?
Man, I think I would have blessed these guys.
What a line. Pac-Man has a question for you, Fred.
Speaking of that.
That's my brother. What's up, bro?
What's up, brother? Speaking of that, looking at the film, 11,695 yards.
Is that good?
66 touchdowns. What is it going to take for you to put on the gold jacket? What is taking so long?
You know what, man? I always say God's timing is the best. I have absolutely zero control of what the selectors think. I'm really trying to get in that final room, the room with the finalists, and I think they'll do a deeper dive and kind of sort out, where my career stands up against the greatest that have ever done it. I retired 15th all time in the history of the game. I don't know how many backs, attempted to, meet that mark, but I retired 15th all time. I think I'm 9th all time in 100-yard games.
Is that good?
Put out there.
What?
Well, the people, they got to decide. But, Pat, at the end of the day, man, God's timing is the best, bro, and it's out of my hands.
You think
I
about
can
it?
make
You think
certain
about it?
arguments. I do. I wish I had thought about it more when I was an active player.
Do you
I
think
think
you
I would
deserve
approach
it,
the
though?
game a little bit differently.
Do you think you deserve it?
I think when you look at the numbers, yes. When you put them up against the greatest guys that have played, even some of the guys that are already in, and then they throw out era, this, that, the other, I get it. But if you look at this era, I don't think you'll see many more 10,000-yard rushers. I was the 21st 10,000-yard rusher of all time. But, but that's the argument. We don't know what the criterias are. No one knows.
Wow.
If you look at the receivers, for example, I think Megatron, Calvin Johnson, who was an absolute dog. He influenced the game on so many levels. He's 31st all time in receiving yardage. There are a lot of other guys in front of him. Do those guys have a valid argument, or does the fact that he stood out?
Hey, Fred, can't get into this where logic and reason.
It's a lot.
Can't do logic and reason.
Saying.
Can't do logic and reason.
But that's what I'm trying to say. What are the criteria? What's the logic? What's the reason? Is it name? Is it Hall of Game? Hall of Fame? Hall of Popularity? What exactly is it? And I'm not crying, but I played in a small market. I didn't get all of the Pro Bowls. The timing didn't allow that. Some years I rushed some of the guys that were in the Pro Bowl. I didn't get the nod.
Fred,
give or take. So it's a lot of stuff.
Hey, you just need to know though, everybody that's ever played against you or with you says you should deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. That's why
that's all that matters.
Yeah, bingo. That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
Because all that stuff in Pro Bowls, you just talked about playing in a small market. At the end of the day, that's kind of a popularity contest too at a lot of different positions, and we hold it in such high regards. People do. And there was a couple times where I was like, "Yep, I'm certainly going to be a Pro Bowler this year," and didn't make it. And then I get a little jaded, probably towards the whole process, or an award in college that certainly should have won, don't win, or something else like that. And I've been jaded towards the whole, and AJ never went to a Pro Bowl, I don't think. All-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, obviously in the same division as Urlacher.
Which is crazy.
That's a crazy thing to think about. So I think AJ and I have a very similar view on it. You need not think about that, Fred. You're a dog in everybody's eyes.
Hell yeah.
They'd be lucky to let you into their Hall of Fame so we could relive your career for a weekend in Canton. We just want to let you know, honestly.
I appreciate those words, man. No, I appreciate that. I appreciate those sentiments. If it happens, it happens. Whether I'm here or not, hopefully, if it does happen, my family can enjoy it if I'm not here. But prayerfully, if it does happen, I hope I'm here, able to celebrate and give back to everybody so we can really party, and get it in.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. It's out of my control, but in the meantime, I'm going to pivot and continue to grind and do my thing and support you guys in the process and everything else.
So let's talk about the pivot, and we appreciate the hell out of you, and that's the perfect mindset. We believe you deserve to be in there. Ty has a question for you.
Yeah, Fred, speaking of the pivot, granted, I remember watching you play, but I was young, by the time you were done, but it seemed like you were a soft-spoken guy and just a killer on the field, but I don't really remember going back and seeing many clips of you giving big sound bites or interviews or anything like that. Was getting into the media post-career, was that ever something you considered, or did you kind of just fall into everything with I Am Athlete and then the pivot?
No, I didn't consider it at all, man. The head of PR, the senior PR guy in Jacksonville, Dan Edwards, who's retired now. After I retired, so around 2011-12, he gave me a shout. He's like, look, we're not winning a lot of games. We're trying to keep the fans intact. We're going to try something different. How about you give us a shot with post-game radio and in-stadium game day analysis? I was like, nah, I'm good. And he was like, nah, I don't want you to tell me no. So I'll give you 2 weeks to think about it. After 2 weeks, he gave me a shout. He goes, I know I said I was going to give you 2 weeks to think about it, but I'm not going to let you say no. So he's always believed in me. He was the person that, told me exactly. He didn't tell me what to say to the media during my playing days, but he encouraged me to just be myself. He gave me that confidence to just go out there and speak and not worry about necessarily what came out of my mouth, but just to be honest with the reporters. So he believed in me. So I was like, all right, Dan, I trust you. I gave it a shot. I did in-stadium analysis for the team. I've been doing that since 2012, post-game radio 2012. So that gave me the experience. So when Brandon Marshall came over during the pandemic and asked if we would like to do a podcast during the pandemic. I was like, sure. I just want to get out of the house. I'm bored as hell at home.
Stay 6 feet away
Let's
from
do
everybody.
it.
Yeah. Stay 6 feet.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we ended up, we started there, What I Am Athlete. Obviously, you guys know the history of that. It didn't necessarily pan out due to certain business discrepancies and conflicts. And from there, we had to pivot. And we started the Pivot, which I think was an amazing name based on that whole period.
Very
pandemic.
clever.
We had to pivot from the pandemic. We had to pivot from business discrepancies. So we got in and we talked to Ryan Clark, who's a dog at, journalism and everything he does. He said, yeah, let's do it. Channing, you guys know what Channing brings to the table. And we created this brand, this platform, which I think has been absolutely phenomenal for ourselves and giving back to the people, the culture. It's been very therapeutic for us as well as people that approach us with the feedback. So we just want to keep going, man, keep building until we can't go no more.
Hey, everybody can podcast.
But everybody can't pivot.
Damn right, bro.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we've been watching, bro. We really enjoy what you guys do. I enjoy
My guys.
I enjoy anybody that works their asses off, and you guys are certainly doing that because I think a lot of ex-players in the past maybe were able to not really do much and benefit grossly from it.
Yeah.
Now in this new era, I'm much more obviously. I was a punter, so people know that 3 to 4 hours a day while meetings were happening. I was getting better at cornhole in that locker, and I became a fucking sniper.
That's right.
You know what I mean? I did. But now I'm, I don't know, probably 400x busy than I was whenever I was in the NFL. But it's gratifying, fulfilling, and the opportunity is there. So watching you guys take advantage of that and thrive has been fun
Right.
for all of us. So you guys need to keep fucking going, all right? Listen, let's not...
We will, man. We definitely will.
let's
It's
not-
a grind.
Okay.
It's a grind.
All right, let's talk about you and the Jacksonville Jaguars, though, for a while. Seemingly good football team, huh? We're here. We made it. We're at a time where there's expectations. We're at a time where they're going to fill up the stadium every single week.
Right.
There's no more clowns out in the stands beating the Indianapolis Colts, knocking the Colts out of the playoffs, sending Carson Wentz over to Washington. We're in good times right now, right? In Jacksonville, is that what it feels like? And how good can Trevor
It feels that way. It definitely feels that way. And thankfully, we were able to get a coach that's a former player, former quarterback that can really just communicate with, our franchise quarterback and Trevor Lawrence. Trevor's amazing. He's an amazing person, just an amazing character. He's an amazing player. He's always won on every level, and to be able to, this is who Trevor Lawrence is. Go back to that San Diego game. 4 interceptions, didn't flinch. He kept on slinging it. He kept slinging it. Came back, they fought back, they won the game. They went up to fight a beast in Kansas City on their field in the divisional round. And, it fell short, but he kept slinging. He kept coming back. That's what you want from your quarterback.
Answers.
No one who's going to, you want a person who is not going to back down. You want a leader. That's exactly who he is. And I think, they have a perfect, relationship with he and Doug, the guys that are around him, from Zay, from Christian Kirk, now with the addition of Calvin Ridley, Evan Ingram there, those guys. So they got the weapons on offense, Travis Etienne. So they got the 5-pack. Those guys can get it done. From a defensive side, you got Josh Allen, who's the leader of that defense. The secondary's been great. Tyson Campbell, all those guys. So you would think the Jaguars are in position to take that leap in the AFC South.
But
you guys you guys are regrouping in Indy. We know you don't want us to beat the Colts.
No.
We know this, Pat.
It's Colts
but it's all good.
We got a 6'5", 250-pound guy running a 4.3. Sorry. Hate it.
I'm biased. He's a Gator. I love him to death.
Yeah, dude.
Trust me. You
We're all
already
doing
know
this.
how I feel about Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, we're all doing
But when we knuckle up 2 games a year, I can't root for him though. I can root for him success, but I just want to win. He can have 500 yards passing, Jaguars win. I'm good. I don't care. I do not care.
If he has
and the same thing with the Houston.
Hey, me
Texans.
too, by the way. If he has 500 yards passing and we lose next year, I'm happy. Hell yeah, dude.
CJ Stroud, the same thing. I love him. I pray that he does great in the pros. He's in the AFC South. Same thing. 300, 400, 500 passing in a loss to the Jaguars. I don't care. As long as we win. We just want wins so we can get in the playoffs and do our thing.
Hell yeah. I'm happy for the Jaguars fans, man. Honestly. Very, very happy for it. And Jags always gave Colts problems. Like, I guess there was a while there where they didn't, I think. But then it became a real Jaguars would beat the Colts basically every single year in at least one of the games.
Just run the ball. Just run the ball. Maurice, myself, just run the ball on them. That was the formula. But, you try to slow down Peyton, who's an absolute dog. And I never really understood Peyton. We beat him 4 times in college at Florida, then to get in the NFL, and he just goes crazy. Like, he just goes absolute nuts. But obviously a legend Hall of Famer. He found a way to win, brought the rings back to Indy. I don't know. Jaguars just always got up for the best, the best in the division to try to give you guys fit. And we did. We just didn't win the big ones when it really mattered. So hopefully they can change that.
Anthony Richardson, I think he said this. I don't know if it's on the record or off the record, and I don't think I heard it. Somebody else did that I was talking to. I can't remember. He said, we ain't never losing to the fucking Jaguars.
Nice.
That's what Anthony Richardson said.
Good mindset.
He never said that. Come on, Pat. He never said that. Show me where that comes from.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. I don't remember.
Rookie watch,
second, third hand.
I don't remember who said it. Somebody. Yeah, I don't remember who.
It made its way back to you.
Yeah, it made its way.
It got to be the vapes. Yeah, I got vapes off the set or something. It got to be the vapes.
Well, yeah, actually, actual flour, not, but that's CBD only. We're in Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
We're in
CBD only?
Yeah, CBD only. Yeah, none of those psychedelic mushrooms you're chugging this morning either, even though you're saying you're not. I understand what you're saying. AJ.
Pat got the pack, though.
Yeah.
You smell me?
Yeah, he does. He certainly does. But the ones he brings here, only CBD.
That's right.
Only CBD.
I love it.
We don't need Pat driving from Ohio to Indiana in a Rolls Royce.
Definitely don't need
with
that.
a bunch of pack got the pack in his car. That's like a 10 to 15 year sentence.
That's not good.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
no, sir.
CBD only. CBD only.
CBD only.
That's right. AJ, go ahead, pal.
Fred, I'm curious. You ever go do yoga on Shad Khan's yacht? I see him traveling around doing those things. I'm wondering, what's your relationship like with him, the owner?
Shad is amazing. Tony, his son, is a rock star, obviously. They got the AEW, and people thought Tony was crazy when he started it, but it's actually kicking ass, and they're doing a great job right there with the wrestling. Mr. Khan, man, just to come into Jacksonville and just have the balls to buy the team and say, look, I believe in this product, and I want to carry it forward. They've done so much, and they're partnering with the city, renovating the stadium, putting the pools in there, got the 2 biggest Jumbotrons in the whole entire world, not just the NFL, but the world. So they made a big investment into the city. They got a lot of stuff going on there.
Fred?
A lot of
The world,
yes.
Fred? Is that real?
The world. Yeah.
I fucking
I
love
mean,
that.
you can ask Google, but Shad, he invested in the city. He invested in the product. They just got a brand new, I think it's $140 million practice facility, 120 or 140 mil practice facility there in Jacksonville, and it looks absolutely amazing. Make me wish I can come out of retirement, but those days are way past me. But yeah, no, just the commitment there. A lot of retail projects, the revitalization of downtown Jags, which is connected right there to the sporting venues where the stadium is. So he wanted to shake up Jacksonville, and I think he is. The one thing that's missing is a winning product. But I think they're slowly headed in that direction, like 2017, when they were cheated in New England. Miles Jack wasn't down, but I digress.
You guys took it.
Sorry.
It's crazy.
And then
it's
the team
crazy.
imploded.
So hopefully they can win.
Yep.
Hopefully the commitment and dedication that he's brought forward, he'll be rewarded with a championship someday.
Yeah, I appreciate him investing in everything. Hey, if you're going to be a fan of ours, I know it's not necessarily the easiest, but I want to showcase to you that I'm going to try to make it the best experience ever possible. That mascot, too. We talked, he needs to keep his cheeks in his pants.
Weapon.
But, he's incredible at what he does. The show down there is awesome. I didn't know they had the biggest Jumbotron in the world, Craig. In the world?
Yeah.
2 of them? You said 2 of
The
them?
biggest, 2 times 2.
Is that including?
It was the Cowboys at one point, but Jacksonville, it stretches from sideline to sideline. It is like
pictures of this?
Like,
what is it?
it's huge.
Go full screen on him. We didn't get it full because it was. Can you?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't even stretch it out. That's big. But yeah, it is big as can be. Yeah, they're ridiculous.
So
and they're beautiful. They're not 420. They're like 8K or something.
So this is the Colts Jumbotron right here.
Yep.
It's in the top left corner of the stadium.
Yep.
I've been pitching hard for them to put. There's a spot. That's a big deal, Fred. At the games, the Jumbotron is a massive ordeal. Like at Dallas, if you were playing there, everybody on earth is just watching that. That's literally.
But that's the NFL. They found their
shit.
niche. That's the business model.
What an undersell by Fred. Fred, you set your hands up in the air. I don't know if that's holy hell. What is
the end
this?
zone. And you have it times two. You have one by the pool and one on the other end down there. But that's the NFL.
It's
we're
not
in an
though.
age where,
That's what I'm saying. It's not though.
Well, other teams will incorporate that here at some point because they're selling $90 hot dogs and $1,000 beers, and people are watching the game on the board. They're not even looking at the field anymore.
I don't think the Bengals.
You bring them there, you entertain them, and you watch the screen. Like you're at a movie, like at a drive-through.
Yes.
Old school, new school, and you're watching the game up here on the board, not paying attention to the actual product on the field. You're here. But that's the business model.
And replays
score, drink, eat, and replays do matter.
Replays really matter. Everybody, as soon as the play is done, is going right up to Jumbo.
Feel like I'm at home.
Yeah, bingo. Yeah. And it's like the Colts have pretty good Wi-Fi in the stadium, which is a good play.
Yeah,
good
comfy
play.
seats.
The seats are a little bit too comfortable. People get a little too quiet, especially those 1 o'clock games, which is every week because we had a number 4 overall pick, which once again, Jonathan Taylor, I mean, come on. You know,
well,
go ahead.
Hey, Pat, but back in your day, you guys were pumping noise. Yeah. I won't say that too loud. I heard you pumping noise into the stadium so they can't fall asleep.
Bingo.
I'm just saying.
Oh, Fred, shut up.
That's proven.
I don't need to hear that. You hear how loud I talk? That was me. That was me that they were saying was pumping in. No, that RCA Dome, I guess, before.
Yeah, they were.
It was like.
It was crazy.
They said it was bananas.
Yeah.
And then Freeney and Robert Mathis would be on the edge. And then they just got the loudest noises of all. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were so freaking good, man. And what's my guy, Bob Sanders?
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, he's still. I saw him. I forget whose Ring of Honor induction. Somebody had a Ring of Honor induction recently, and we were up in the suite or whatever bullshit. And it was before I got on the team, but a bunch of the people that I had met.
Tariq, Glenn.
Yeah,
was it Tariq?
I think it was Tariq's. It might have been Freeney's. I don't remember whose it was. But we were there, and Bob was there, and it was like, oh, shit, good to see Bob. Whenever I talked to Bob, he's Erie, Pennsylvania guy, Western Pennsylvania guy, and I was with Bob for 2 years at the beginning. He was hurt for the 1 year for 7 weeks. And then his first game back, I think he had 2 picks, a forced fumble, and a touchdown or something like that. And this dude had headphones on for the last 8 weeks, didn't talk to anybody.
Yeah.
And then he just shows up and just ruined everybody's life. So it was nice seeing him.
Yeah.
He is still
probably Jock.
That's insane. I picked him up. He was playing in a nickel slot, had a nickel blitz there, fire zone. I had to pick him up. Boom, my shoulder went out. I'm like, what the fuck? This guy is just one big muscle. It's insane how explosive he was. And if he didn't get hurt, if he didn't have the injuries, he should be or would have been mentioned in the same breath as Troy Polamalu. They were the same player. They were the exact same player. Troy was an absolute GOAT. He does what he does, but they tackled the same. They were as explosive. They had the same instincts. It's just Bob didn't play as long, which probably will affect whatever argument he has for the Hall of Fame. But he made that Colts defense go 5'7", but he played like he was 6'3", and I definitely respect that dude.
And he Defensive Player of the Year, I think, when they won the Super Bowl.
Yep.
So direct the statue and the stadium, everything. The year he had his best year is when all this stuff probably came to be. I'm a massive fan. Wish I could have played alongside him longer. I'm happy you gave him some love there too, because he doesn't really tend to get any because of how quiet he is.
Yeah.
Players respect players. Players respect players. Same thing with Nick Chubb. I heard you guys say earlier. I was kind of quiet. Same thing with Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb. He doesn't get the respect that he deserves. We all know he's a dog. He gets it done. Cleveland isn't the biggest market. They're not winning, as much as they probably could. And with that, he doesn't get the same highlight as a lot of these other running backs might get. I used to say back in the day, and this wasn't hating on anybody, but if you're in New York and you're playing, you have 700 yards, that's equivalent to 1,100 or 1,200 yards from Jacksonville.
Yeah.
You're going to get pushed up here. So he's not getting that love. And I understand it because he's quiet.
Yeah.
He doesn't do the extra marketing stuff. I told him he should take advantage of that when we visited Brown's camp yesterday and sat down with him. Like, go out there and take advantage. Let people see how articulate you are. You're a handsome dude. Like, take advantage of these opportunities and set yourself up for post-career. And even along with that, these people that are on the outside of Cleveland, let them see who you are. Well, he doesn't care about it. Hopefully he has a change of heart with that. But yeah, man, when you're quiet, when you don't say a lot, you don't get as much love as some of these guys that are just obnoxious and loud. They tell you to be a pro, but also they fall in love with the guys that are louder in front of the cameras. It's confusing as hell. I don't know, but it's stupid.
Yeah, we agree. We agree. We're part of the problem. We are certainly a part of the problem because we will celebrate anybody that talks shit.
Yeah.
Like, I love this guy. Those who go about their business, though, I feel like we show respect for, but not as much of a conversation piece.
Of course not.
And what you just said there about Jacksonville and New York, that's funny. Think about him in December or November when awards are being talked about, and some sorry-ass running back from New York. What's this guy got? Half the amount of yards I got?
Come on.
What the fuck? I don't know how many times that happened, but for you to come up to an equation, basically, 700 yards in New York is equal to 1,200. That means you've had a couple moments where you're like, these motherfuckers. That is...
Yeah, that's true. I have.
Yeah, we know. Yeah, that was pretty apparent.
And I won't say any names, but it's been a while. I've been retired now 12 years. So yeah, those days are done, but I still got, my mind is still working okay.
Yeah.
CTE hasn't taken over yet.
Well, that's because you two haven't run into each other on this. Last question here for you from Boston Connor.
Yeah, Fred, just real quick, too, I'd like to, kind of bring you up to speed. The New England Patriots actually now have the largest Jumbotron in the entire NFL.
No.
I'm sorry to break the news to you, pal. But yeah, Miles Jack was out of bounds, and the Patriots have the biggest board now. Sorry.
No. Hold on. Are you a Patriots fan?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where you get this information from? I know they just they renovated the stuff, but
it's bigger by 10 feet.
They didn't even. Listen.
10 feet.
The Patriots.
Jaguars is 360. The Patriots is 370.
Suck it.
Yeah, we need a. Hey. But they cheated a lot back and they deflated balls.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be saying that. I played there. I shouldn't be talking crap. I played there. I love Bill. I love the organization, the craft. I had a great time in New England. But check this out. I had to pay for my jerseys on checkout. So their cheap asses ain't no way they got bigger screens than that. Ain't no way.
Yeah, it's true. And now they're making $55 million every single home game. So
sorry about it.
Maybe that's what they spent all that money on. Well, and thank you for providing some funds for the Jumbotron as well from yourself. But speaking of the pivot, and we all saw the recent episode of you guys, talking to Terry McLaurin. A lot of news this week out of Washington, and a lot of it has to do with the offense and Eric Bieniemy. And apparently, there are some veteran players going to Ron Rivera saying, "Hey, Eric Bieniemy was cussing at me, and he's way too mean to be coaching this offense." Did you get any of those vibes when you talked to Terry, maybe after the show or while you were watching practice?
So we talked to Terry and EB, before and after the show. Terry even said it. He loved the intensity. He loved that he has a coach who's, gone to several AFC championships, who's won multiple Super Bowl rings. He loves the fact that he comes in with a different intensity and trying to change the culture there. And it's easier for them to buy in because this guy, Eric Bieniemy, he's won. So I think the other players should just follow suit. I don't know how true those things are that came out of camp, but I did hear those same echoes. But you would think that if a team hadn't been successful or hadn't reached the goals that we all set out for at the beginning of the year, you just fall in line. Yeah. You get on the train, you say, look, we haven't won, So maybe we need a massive change here. And if that's his approach, that's his approach. You deal with it. You figure it out. Coach Coughlin, when I got to Jacksonville, we had 3 of days damn near. And we got out there and we won early. And nobody complained when you win. When you lose, everybody's miserable. So win a few games. I think they'll buy in. And they won't mind the way his approach is. I don't know. The media sometimes takes storylines and run and go way left with them. And we are the media.
Yep.
But,
we're part
you know, those players, they just got to, it's camp. You know, these guys can't be coddled. EB is old school. You know, he ran the hell out of the ball at Colorado. You know, he's had success at Kansas City. So just fall in line, man, get the job done. And let him lead, you follow.
Fred, I think the cool conversation that kind of evolved from every person that's ever been in the NFL is like, oh, these dudes have no fear of losing their jobs. Right. People that are just going to the head coach like, oh, he's being mean to me. It's like back in the day, seemingly, like, all right, yeah, you want to hear mean? Yeah, you're off the fucking team.
Right.
How about that? Congratulations, you're a free agent. Like, I think that is the evolution of everything. Hopefully it'll work out for him because it feels like there's a lot of positive energy around the Commanders right now. Now, we have no idea what the name's going to be going forward. New stadium, how's that going to be? But it's already off to a little bit of a rocky start here on the offense. But that's Commanders football, baby. That's just how it goes. Fred, we appreciate the hell out of you, brother. Continue to kill it,
All right,
pal.
fellas. We're going to definitely keep grinding, man. Hey, salute you guys, man. If I can do anything, whatever we could do, you got it, brother. Much love to all y'all boys.
You're the man, ladies and gentlemen. Future Hall of Famer, Fred Taylor. All right, let's get to a break. I didn't know you two hadn't sparred in the Coliseum.
No, when he went to New England for 2 years at the end, I don't get to play him there. He's one of those dudes, though, that everybody respects. Like, everybody respected him when he was in the league, and they still do. Like, okay, yeah, he's one of those guys that you don't want to mess with him. Like, everyone, it's one of those, there's not a ton of guys like that, but especially a guy that played like him, yeah.
Did he say 4.28 at 230? 228? Did he say 4.28?
He was pulling away from everybody.
Yeah, he was moving. It wouldn't make sense.
That dude's running 4.2s? Yeah. Fred Taylor's running 4.2?
Florida got track as well.
Yeah, he probably was.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I got
freak.
to play him when 05, 06, yeah.
You didn't tackle him?
Yeah, I did.
You didn't tackle
No, you didn't. He ran right over you.
They actually, I remember the commentators going, business decision by 24.
Oh.
And had a touchdown.
Damn. Yeah, 4.29, you bet.
70 that, I guess.
You tackled him, you said?
Yeah.
6 foot.
Don't lie.
And had an interception.
Well, Fred didn't throw it, did he?
No.
What if he did? What if you did have a pick on Fred Taylor?
Yeah.
That'd be sweet. Everybody can podcast. Not everybody can throw a pick to Pac-Man Jones.
That's right.
That show is good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah. Channing's the man as well. I like Channing. He's so good.
As soon as he mentioned Channing's name, like everybody in here just started smiling, thinking of things that he has said to people's face.
Yeah.
Openly. And said to out there about himself, too.
Yeah. I know a lot about old Channing. I feel like we know a lot about
we do.
Seriously.
Yeah, we do.
Those nudist camps still gets me every time.
He's so honest.
When he was doing like the nudist camp shit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, go. What are we talking about? Just so natural.
Yeah, so nonchalant.
Confident.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah. Oh, you don't?
What's your guys?
Yeah.
A lot of that. I enjoy it. Oh, no. Arm dead.
Ooh. Right on, though.
Oh. Yeah. Oh.
No scrum.
Oh, no.
Oh, air ball.
Oh, no.
Third hour. Saving it for the third hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get those out of the way.
Yep.
Throw that in
Yep.
there.
Do
Throw
it
it in
do
there.
it. Do it.
You got it. Put some touch on it. Get some loft on it. You'll get it.
Tossing a Scotty Cameron.
Yeah. I mean, that backboard just shattering into a million pieces, though.
Like I'm Shaq without the dunk.
Pretty sweet.
Would be cool.
Yeah.
Hour 3 on the other side. Michael Lombardi's going to break some news. I can't wait to hear what he has said this week that we haven't heard.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because he's on
He's
air.
been hyping up the Bears. He's hyping up the Bears a lot lately.
So let's try to stay away from the Bears with Lombardi.
Yeah,
Well, and there hasn't been a lot of Dan Oreshowski on ESPN this week.
All right, so this will be a positive one, I think.
Yeah.
Yep, it will.
Hey, Jay.
What's that about?
I'm saying that's why Lombardi is awesome, because you can tee him up on any subject. and he'll give you the truth.
And his truth, of course.
He'll give you his truth. Yes, you're right. Mm-hmm.
But his truth, a lot of credibility, a lot of resume behind it.
Yeah.
And we enjoy it every single time. He gets people worked up, though.
He does.
People get really worked up.
Yep.
He doesn't understand why, though. He never understands why they're worked up. That's the best part.
Is that a lie?
I'm right.
Yeah, Kyler Murray. He's a small guy.
I love him. We'll talk to him in about 10 minutes. I can't wait for it. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. Take 5.
Welcome back to TBT Fave Football. Last week, Tone Diggs kicked us off. Kenny Pickett's Steelers' incredible performance. It really was an inspiring one. This week, I will be doing a playoff game in the wild card round on a Saturday night in January. Chargers, Jags. A real tale of two halves. Let's get into it right now, Foxy. Trevor Lawrence looking to start hot. Boom, Sebastian Joseph Day to Bosa to Drew Tranquil. Are you kidding me? Not what they were looking for. Okay, in the playoffs, you don't want to throw picks. Usually you lose, but not always. Not always. Let's go to the next one here. Couple plays later, Austin Eckler. See ya. Little right to left. We're going right. Let's go left. Going right. Let's go left. Touchdown. 7-0 Chargers. 4th down, little drive for the Jags. Oh no. Oh no. Asante Samuel Jr., not his father, Jr., he had a hell of a game. This was his first interception. It wasn't his last interception. Trevor Lawrence, chin strap off. Shit. He's probably saying that to himself. They go down, kick a field goal. Okay, finally, redemption for the Jags. Let's go score again. No, not again, Asante Samuel Jr. Are you kidding me? What is Trevor Lawrence seeing out there? Okay, it's so early. People who bet on the Jags are crying. People who bet on the Chargers are going crazy. It's 10-0. They turn the ball over all of a sudden. Okay, Chargers ball again in the red zone. Let's go. Let's see what happens. Do they have a guy, Austin Eckler? Oh, yeah, they do. He's a fast, quick little son of a bitch, and he can run you over. He decides, you know what, I'm just going to put my foot in the ground, put my helmet in this guy's chest, and run him into the end zone. Now here we are, 27-0. And this is a very important play. 28 seconds left in the half. Maybe most Jags fans are saying this one's over. I know I was saying this one's over. But the Jags do what the Jags do. They put together a drive at the end of the half. Trevor Lawrence died. How you doing, Evan Ingram? 27-7, this game's still probably over. Let's go to the second half. Let's check the score here. 50 seconds left in the third, 30-14. Not enough time. I don't think the Jags were saying that. Go ahead, Fox. Trevor Lawrence. Oh, let me see. Is that Zay Jones wide open in the end zone? Yeah, it is. Bucket. Trevor Lawrence, all of a sudden, new quarterback in the second half. Here we are. Kirk, end zone. Great catch. Some of us might remember what Joey Bosa did after this play. Right tackle might have gone a little early. He might have gone just a little early. Look at that. Oh, you can see it. You can see it when you're really looking for it. Bosa, I hate my helmet, damn it. Coach Staley, I got you. Don't worry. Pick up your helmet. Your hair still looks cool. Oh, you can do it. Oh, thanks. I hate this helmet. I don't want it. They're still up, but it feels like they're losing because they blew this massive lead. In fact, got a penalty after this play, which led to the 2-point conversion on the 1-yard line. And, ETN, he's a stud. Hasty's in the backfield. Everyone's probably thinking, Trevor Lawrence is going to roll out. He's going to hit somebody in the flat. He doesn't do that. What's he do, Foxy? What's he do? Oh, how you doing? I'm bigger than you. That's right. I'm Trevor freaking Lawrence. I was the number 1 overall pick, and we stunk with Urban Meyer. Shout out Finger Guns. Right over the top, though. Give me that. We got a game now. All of a sudden, the Jags got the ball back. They get a huge stop. Chargers on the sideline, pooping their pants. And let's see what they do, huh? Hello, ETN. Had a hell of a game, 4th and 1, when you need it, huh? And what's he do? He stays in bounds. He's a genius. Everyone's doing the Jalen Hurts. Everyone come together in the middle and let's just go get a yard on 4th and 1. Doug Peterson doesn't do that. He's got studs all over the place. He's going to give it to ETN, and that's exactly what he did to set up Riley Patterson down by 2. Bang. Oh, is it going to go? Oh, it sneaks in. It sneaks in. Yeah. Jags come back from 27-0 to beat Herbert. Everybody loves him. Everybody thinks he's great. He is, but so is Trevor Lawrence. And unfortunately, we had to wait a year to see that. And, some people may have put an anytime touchdown parlay together. Oh, Eckler 2 tuds? That happened pretty early. Marvin Jones tud? second half. Ingram, Tud, right at the end of the first half, we saw it. Gerald Everett touchdown. That happened too. $25 to win $11,896.48. I don't know who might have put that together. It was me. It was me. So yeah, this was one of my favorite games. Next week, Kai Schmitz will be doing his TBT Fave football game. This week, Chargers at Jags. Tale of two halves. 31-30 Jags after being down 27-0. We'll see you next week.
How'd you choose college coaching?
I was coaching on the backside of the desert for a long time. I started off with youth football. We had one of the biggest programs in the country with ages 5 all the way through 14 and several teams of each age group. Name was Truth. Trust in God, respect myself and others, understand I have unlimited possibilities, try my best, never give up, and honor the truth in His creed at all times.
Oh, that's a good one.
And we took the whole state of Texas and we went and played all around the country. That's what I was doing for a decade. Then I got into high school football. Then after high school, I'm just sitting there, all the kids about to go, Shiloh. Bucky had graduated from SMU. Shiloh was at South Carolina, and Shador was getting ready to go play for Coach Taggart. I started getting the call. Phone started ringing. Let me really consider that. So I interviewed on a couple of interviews and knocked them out of the park, but it wasn't the time. And I accepted the Jackson State challenge, a tremendous challenge, because I'd never been to Jackson. I'm like, HBCU, I don't really know a lot about it. Let me do my homework. And I accepted the challenge. Then Shador said, you know what, Daddy, I'm riding with you. And Shiloh like, Daddy, I'm riding with you. So now I got both my sons there and the other son doing all those social media. And it just became a wonderful thing. And being able to grab those guys, when the Bible says you ride in that staff, they comfort me. Without the guys around you, you're not going to be comforted. So I learned to put some pretty good guys around me, just like when I returned punt. If I didn't have 10 dogs in front of me blocking their butts off, I wasn't going to be prime. So I've learned to always keep some dogs around me to make sure I can go do what I'm blessed to do. And that's the formula of coaching, man. Just having some good coaches around you and we're not friends of the kids. Everybody talk about these kids are different. The kids ain't no different. Their coaches have changed. Kids ain't no different. They the same old kids. Coaches have changed. Quit pacifying these kids, and they want discipline, man. They want structure. They want to be told what to do and where to go and how to do it.
Colorado was the biggest job, biggest offer? Why?
No. Colorado was the best job and the perfect job for me because of Rick George, because of the AD, because of his spirit and what he spoke to me. He touched me, man. I was offered more money, of course, but money don't move me. Connectivity and the spirit and being in the right place and doing the right thing, that's what moves me and motivates me. If money was it, shoot, I'd have lost this a long time. You don't come to work because of the money. You come to work because you love doing what you're doing, and the money seems to follow you. That's been my formula. I've sat in all three seats. I've been the kid on the couch. I've been the parent right next to the kid on the couch. Now I'm on the other side and the coach that you're talking to. So it's not nothing that I don't understand about this process. You want it prime, that's what you're going to get. I don't know how to dress it up and flip it no other way. I got to be me. I got to be me unapologetically. I'm going to be me.
Hey, we have issues with that with some companies because of that. I assume you've run into that case as well. Yeah.
I'm right back out of there. They should have Googled me, did your homework, and asked a few questions because I'm going to be me.
Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show here on 2 preseason games tonight, Thursday. We are now just 28 days away from NFL football.
Whoa.
Let's go. It's amazing.
It's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
It's been a long off season, 28 days. That's exactly 4 weeks, actually, too.
Yes, it is.
This is your reminder that the best ticket app on planet Earth and the Moon SeatGeek is giving us 15% off NFL tickets all off season. Holy shit. No code. Just click the link in the description, and the 15% off code will be auto-applied to your account. It works whether you're a first-time buyer or not.
Wow.
Hour 3 starts now.
Whoa.
Hey.
Right?
Quiet. Let's go.
This show fucking stinks. And the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it. AJ, you never cease to amaze me with your toxicity, pal.
You got a couple of these?
God damn it! What the fuck are you doing?
Boston
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome. On this, there's 2 preseason games Thursday, August 10th, 2023. Hour 3 of the program starts now.
Football! Nice.
A little bit. There's a delay. I'm trying to jump. I don't want to jump in too early.
Okay.
Oh, you're good.
So I'm trying to time it out.
Well, you're doing a great job. Ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hawk is here.
Yeah. Oh, what's with that new? What was the new? Why'd we come back like that?
Well, we're supposed to read a SeatGeek. So here's what's happening. We did all of our deals, right, for our show for a long time. You know?
Yes.
So now we're in a purgatory period between us doing deals and then ESPN doing the deals for the program, but still very involved on how the deals look.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, like, for instance, the 5-hour energy, is that one going to be back? We'll see.
We don't know.
Hopefully. Yeah. But there's going to be new partners coming in that are pretty, I think, eager and excited to get in here. But, like, SeatGeek is still, you know, so we missed the ad, like, yesterday or in the day before that.
But it's the only one, so it's on.
And the day before that.
Yeah.
So.
It's your classic make good.
Yeah, we didn't want to, you know what I mean? We didn't want to go another day. So we're like, let's do that right now. Mm-hmm. And it was an interesting little test there, just cold cut back to Connor.
Yeah.
Welcome back, he says. Then he threw it to a video.
Yeah.
Connor, great work.
Well, we practiced it 20
Well done.
times yesterday.
Yeah, it's all rehearsed and
Bingo.
choreographed, and we made that decision before the show started, obviously.
Duh.
Not as the commercial was literally being read about 4 seconds before that.
Wouldn't do that.
The last commercial.
No, not on this show with the Toxic Table at Boston Connor, at Ty Schmidt. One half of the Hammer, Dahn. Cowboys, Tone Diggs is here. 14-year NFL icon Pac-Man Jones is live in the Thunderdome. Great week this week, Pac.
Yeah.
Baby Pac.
You did great this week, Pac.
Appreciate it, brother.
Hell yeah. Good to see you, pal. We do need Tech Joe back in the building to lift the vibes a little bit.
Yeah, Miss
Tech Joe, let's go. All right, let's figure it out. You can wear sweatpants here.
Yeah.
Not a big deal.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean?
They're welcomed.
You can do anything here.
Yeah, and if we're having a wedding one day,
you can wear them there
wear
too.
them there too.
Mm-hmm. Bring your ass.
If we knew that it was the wedding sweatpant fodder was going to end the relationship with Tech Joe, we would have never done it.
No.
Black tie event is really more of a suggestion.
Sure.
It's not.
Always.
It's not written in
Especially
stone.
when you're super close with the bride and groom.
Yeah, you know everybody there.
Exactly.
Bingo.
So
And you have a chair. You're not just meandering around dinner table.
let's move away from Tech Joe, even though Tech Joe moved away from us.
He did.
It's broken my heart.
You know?
back, Joe.
So Tech Joe is Pac-Man's friend from Ohio who
Superstar.
would travel with him over here basically every single day. You know, because Pac's driving like an hour and 24 minutes every one way and then hour back. So Tech Joe was like with him. Tech Joe became a fixture of the office for a few days. And then he showed up at Nick's wedding wearing sweatpants and a hoodie. And
black tie.
You've never seen it? We haven't seen him since?
Haven't seen him since.
Stole the show.
Have not seen him since because I guess we talked a little shit. Like, no shit.
Yeah. Right.
We are going to talk shit if you show up at one of our guys' weddings wearing sweatpants
Yeah,
and a
but
hoodie.
you know what? At least Tech Joe showed up. Now, technically, he wasn't invited, but he showed up. Unlike you, Hawker.
Yeah.
You
He
just
took my
fucking didn't
spot.
even come.
Yeah, he took your
Took my
chicken.
spot.
He did have that plate, but he never ate it because he walked in and everybody goes, "Where the fuck? What are you doing?" And then he left and we never heard from him again. Tech Joe.
Sent back to the car.
If we didn't talk shit to you, Tech Joe, that means
Who would we be? We wouldn't like you.
Love you, Joe.
The only reason we liked him the first time is because he came in here. He didn't say one word for 7 hours, and everyone was like, "I'd take a bullet for that guy right
Yeah.
there."
sat down, nothing to say.
Nothing. Pac-Man introduced him. Hey, this is Joe. And we all said, hey, what's up, Joe? Nothing. Didn't say a word.
Anyways, let's get back to the program. Tech Joe needs you back at the Thunderdome.
We miss you, Joe.
But when you get here, we are going to have to talk about some things.
Yeah.
You know what I
We have
mean?
to go over it.
Like, just because we haven't got a chance to chat about the sweats and the hoodie at the nicest building.
Yeah.
You know.
They were nice. I bet they were nice sweats, though, and nice hoodie.
Nah, there were stains all over the top and bottom of him, but still, he looked fucking great.
We don't know if that's true, but
They
we
were
do.
more Costco brand than Sean John brand. I'll say that.
Sean John. Jeez,
Sean
what a
John
throwback.
Yeah, Fat Farm.
That was when they were making the band back there. Right? That was the whole time.
Yep.
Joining us now is a man who I assume only owns Sean John hoodies.
Sure.
Yep.
And Sean John sweats.
Yep.
A man who's had every single job in the NFL. He's been a general manager. He's been a consultant. He's been an author. He's been an email newsletter writer. He currently is. He hosts a podcast. He hosts a live show.
What?
He's a TED talker.
Yep.
Literally the brain behind football. Our Paisan friend of the program. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Lombardi.
Hello, Pat. How are you doing, guys? How are things?
Lombo, super duper Italian wedding, okay? Like, can't stress enough how fucking Italian this wedding was. Both sides incredibly Italian. It did reek of incredible food and culture.
Yeah, cologne and marinara sauce and spaghetti.
And it was incredible. It was phenomenal.
Loved it.
Love it.
You potato-headed.
Whoa.
I don't know.
I loved it, I said.
Yeah, I mean, the Irish are certainly going to say things whenever there's a chance for that. Old school show. This is an old school show. Tech Joe, this guy who didn't really know most of the people at the wedding, all Italian wedding here, shows up in sweats and a hoodie, And I don't know if he knows a lot of Italian people or not, but there's a head turner. That was quite a head turner, Lombo.
Yeah, you got to dress the part. I mean, you can't. I mean, look at the Sopranos. They went out to eat. The Vesuvio, they're all dressed up. I mean, they got to push the cuffs, make sure they look good. You can't show up in a sweatsuit. I mean, no.
No, it wasn't a sweatsuit.
Yeah.
No, they were not matching.
No.
This thing did not match this one. Yeah, it was a whole. Yeah, it was tough. Anyways, we need you back, Tech Joe.
Joe.
Lombo, let's move into a conversation about football right now. What have you been stewing on all week? I think the big news for me as an Indianapolis Colt, and I'll be excited to hear your take on this. Jonathan Taylor allegedly not in the building, getting rehab on an ankle outside of the building. If what's going on with his contract and everything else isn't happening, is he still going to get rehab outside of the building? What are your thoughts on that situation, and how do you see it kind of ending? And then we'll roll into everything else happening around the NFL.
Well, I think it's a smart move for the Colts. Look, you're starting your program. Shane Steichen starting his program. He doesn't need somebody who's upset, somebody who's in a bad mood, somebody whose personality is kind of very toxic and he's angry and bitter. So the best thing you can do is send him away. Look, there's three groups of people in every organization, right? Oh, yeah. There's people in group one. They'll do anything you want them to do. There are people in group two that are undecided. They're not sure. And then there's people in group three that you can never make happy. They're just malcontents. They're happy being unhappy. So if you pay attention as a leader to the people in group three, then all the people in group two want to become unhappy. So that doesn't work. So what you have to do is focus only on the people who want to be there and send away the ones, ignore everybody else. And that's what the Colts did. They just said, okay, you go, if you want to mope, if you want to be unhappy, you go be unhappy on your own program, but you're not going to mess up our team. You're not going to bring us down. You're not going to gain other followers by you saying you're unhappy. I think it's the best play you could do. I don't think anything's going to happen. I think this is going to play out. I think the agent has failed to understand who he's negotiating with.
Jim.
Oh. Well, yeah, we know with Jim, he has, and Jonathan Taylor obviously hired his new agent, Malky, and he started all of this. But you say nothing's going to happen. So does Jonathan Taylor just come back in eventually, close to week one? How does it all work?
Well, the great George Allen, the Hall of Fame general manager of the Giants, used to say football players play football, right? You got to play football. I mean, nobody's going to pay you a huge contract next year. Nobody wants your problem next year if you don't come in and play. It's a performance-based league, and that's what we all are a part of. That's the rules of engagement. We all know that. You got to win to keep your job as a GM. You got to play good to keep your job as a player. The only guys that have job security are the owners. That's it. Everybody else is predicated on winning. So, yeah, I don't see the solution is they're not going to pay him. He wants, 17 million a year. I don't think Uncle Jim's going to give him that. I think Uncle Jim's made it very clear. Just like Jerry Jones has told Zach Martin, I'm not paying you. I paid you once. I'm not paying you twice. I got to pay Mekhi Parsons. I got to pay Micah Parsons. I'm not going to do that.
Hey, look at you. You just corrected yourself. That is a very...
I know, I got that one. I've been working on that, Pat. That's my summer project.
Okay, you did a great job. Because that is very standard Lombardi speak right there.
Yeah, bet.
Mekhi Sunpar, this guy, you would normally just kind of roll right through it.
I got it. I know I get that he wants to be Micah in it. I got it. I respect his game. Look,
that's his name.
That guy deserves to get paid. Now, there's a guy got to get paid. You got to pay him.
Yeah.
Not everybody can eat. Not everybody gets to go through the buffet line.
At the same restaurant and in the same team.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, usually they say if you win, there's enough to go around. And this has kind of been my take on the whole Jonathan Taylor thing. He obviously came out in April or March, whatever it is, and said, yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to play it out. I don't do that. He gets a new agent, to AJ's point, and then it all kind of flips on its head. But, we didn't win. We were very, very bad football team last year. So as things are positively changing, seemingly, new quarterback, new culture, new head coach, a lot of accountability seemingly coming back into the building and everything's going well, to be upset about not getting paid coming off of that year, I just don't know if it's the best strategy publicly or business-wise. Publicly,
Right.
he's outside of Indianapolis. I think a lot of people have appreciation for what Jonathan Taylor's doing and everything like that. And we all hope everybody gets paid a lot of money. I hope everybody's a billionaire. I hope Jonathan Taylor gets $17 million. But in Indianapolis, I don't think there's a lot of like pity for Jonathan Taylor right now. And I don't know if they're reading that right. Because like I think Jim Irsay very much cares. Like, are people on my side or are they on Jonathan Taylor's side right now? And it's like Colts fans are like, team was sucked. He only had like 6 touchdowns last year, missed 6 games. Like everybody in Colts fan base is like kind of like, hey, either get with it or get the fuck out. And that happened pretty quick. That happened because Jonathan Taylor was beloved here, and that kind of all happened very quick. Can you get past it? Like, let's say they figure out a way to get past this. Do you think it becomes good graces again, or have they gone too far?
Well, I think they can make it up. I mean, as the great Arnold Rothstein said, nothing says I'm sorry better than money. So money always makes things better, right? But in this case, I don't know if they're going to pay him money. I think that agent has really destroyed this kid. I mean, in April of this year, this kid was saying everything that a Colt fan wanted to hear. I signed it. I put my name to the paper. I'm going to honor the contract. I'm going to do what I have to do. And I got to come in and play. And now all of a sudden, this new agent who's on X, who thinks he's negotiating with some pansy and Jim Irsay. I mean, do some homework. Like, if you think you're going to beat Jim Irsay at this game, good luck. Like, that's the point. You got to understand, this is not about you don't have any leverage. You have a signed contract. You're not going to, they have no obligation to redo it. You signed a 4-year contract. That's it. Life goes on.
Jim is not a flower.
No,
he's
not. He's not.
It's like last year when Jesse Bates was saying he's going to take on Mike Brown. Do you know how long that line is of players who try to take on Mike Brown? That line's longer than the Port Authority building. I can tell you that. Nobody's going to win that line.
That's awesome to think about because you said the only people that have security are the owners, and Jim is like, I'm the oldest owner too. Yeah. I've been around here the longest. Players come and go. If I die, nobody's going to care. The NFL is going to move on. If Jonathan Taylor's not in the NFL anymore, nobody's going to care. Sorry about it. The NFL rolls on. I hope they're able to get back on good graces because our team would be better without him, or with him. But if we're without him, Kareem Hunt comes and then leaves without a deal, even though he was in New Orleans on the way to the building, allegedly, turn around, hop on a plane, fly to Indianapolis, doesn't get a deal done. What's that mean? And do you think they're, like, to get him to turn around, seems like they told him, we're very, very interested.
Yeah.
What could have happened, you think?
That makes me think he didn't pass the physical. That makes me think something was wrong medically. Because if they got him not to go in the building in New Orleans, they said, hey, look, we'll do a 2-year deal at X amount. Here's the deal. Come up here, pass the physical. You got it. And then he disappeared. He may not be in shape. They may say, hey, come back in 2 weeks. You'll get this deal. But to me, it's more that they couldn't agree on a deal. It seems like there was something wrong medically. And that usually happens, whether it's, an injury that they didn't know about. But once he went through it, if he got a physical there in Indianapolis and they got him to leave New Orleans, nobody leaves New Orleans on a hope or a prayer. We had my man Belichick got me on this one. So we had Rodney Harrison in our room in Oakland. We're going to sign Rodney Harrison. The contract's out. His agent, Steve Feldman, and him are on the phone, and it's out. All he needs to do is start with the letter R and end up with the letter N. And he's holding the pen, and the phone's ringing. And an hour later, he's trying to get us to give him more money, and the next thing you know, he signs with the Patriots. He literally was in the building going to sign it. So they're only leaving if they know they got something. They're not leaving something, right? So I think, to me, there's something that happened in that physical.
Okay, so that's a piece that I wouldn't have thought about. I just assumed that a deal might have fell apart. So that would make a lot more sense, seemingly. Yeah. Excited to hear what did take place behind the scenes. Speaking of Bill Belichick getting you, he's gotten a lot of other people in tonight. His team makes their debut. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, Lombo, what is Bill's and also your own take on the preseason? Do you think that it's too long, too many games? Do you think it's inevitable that there will be some games that kind of get pushed back just because of the possible 18th game coming to the NFL season? And then in general, what does Belichick typically do in these games? I believe it was last year, the year before with Rule, where he's like, hey, I thought we were just playing base defenses and Rule is running all these exotic blitzes. But what's kind of his thoughts and your own thoughts around it?
Well, I think you got to play the first game. You got to play the young players. You want to find out what young players can play when the lights come on. Okay, and then the second week you got to, they're going to go practice against Green Bay. Those practices against Green Bay will be the evaluation, the help for the veterans. But the one thing I think we've learned over the course of studying the NFL in 35 years, the preseason is not irrelevant. Individual stats are irrelevant. Win-losses are irrelevant. But what happens during this preseason is relevant. For example, last year, the New York Football Giants completed 105 passes in preseason in 3 games. It's really good execution, right? The year before with Joe Judge, they completed 55. All right? So what that tells us when you're looking at the Giants is their execution, their fundamentals are much better. Vic Fangio, when he was coaching the Denver Broncos, they had 8 penalties in the 3 preseason games. Last year with Nathaniel Hackett, they had 23. Are we surprised they had a bunch of them during the regular season? Of course not. There it was right in front of us. So you can't get caught up in the individual numbers because you can't control. But what's problematic in the preseason could become problematic in the season, or what's good in the preseason could become good. And I think you have to kind of really study that. That's what you have to kind of glean. Washington couldn't turn the ball over during the regular season. Last preseason, they couldn't turn the ball over. There's rhythms to these games.
Hold on, I didn't understand that last.
You mean their defense couldn't turn the ball over? Is what you're saying?
Okay.
Yeah.
Forced turnovers.
Yeah.
Forced
Right. They couldn't force turnovers, right? They couldn't force them. One of the big problems with Washington's defense, Washington's defense was really good on third down, really good in the red zone. They should have won more than 8 games. They couldn't force a turnover. That's why they had drafted Emmanuel Forbes. So my point is, what you see in preseason, there could be a trend, if you will.
Yeah.
There's something you got to fit. And it's a good set, like the Giants. Like the Giants trend was really good. They were really good in the preseason. So you got to look. Baltimore, you could say whatever you want. Baltimore's trying to win preseason games. No, Baltimore's execution is really good in the preseason. They completed 80 passes last year. They had an 80% completion percentage in preseason last year. They can execute. That's what you're looking for. That's what you want out of these games. It doesn't matter who's playing. You want your team to execute.
Yeah, so tonight you just talked about how first game, let's see if these young guys can perform. Like, that makes sense whenever you say it out loud. It's like, let's see who needs to get out of who's wasting a spot pretty much in our camp right now. Let's use that first one here. Then on the back end of that, we'll go do some practices against some other teams. So we'll be able to either continue to prove that these guys are NFL ready in practice, and our vets will be in a much more controlled area. That's what Bill's doing tonight, because allegedly all the starters not playing. And we thought with a new offense, you would want Mac to at least experience it a little bit, but they'll get enough of that in Green Bay and then going forward for the next 2 games.
In Tennessee, too. So what you want to be able to do is, what people don't understand is football's a mathematical problem. There's only so many reps that you get every day at practice, and there's only so many reps players can get. You guys as ex-players, I need more reps. Well, who gets the reps? Who decides on who gets the reps? It isn't like we're a JV, you just put yourself in. So how do you get reps? How do you earn more reps by your play? So tonight when they play, tonight in the game, Gonzalez will play corner. He's certainly the first-round pick. How many reps will he get? Does he earn more reps based on the reps he had? And then as a younger player, Douglas, the wide receiver, if he plays tonight, how many reps will he earn? And then the next week you can plan, okay, we need this guy to get more. We need this guy to be ready for us to play come September. And then you give him more reps. So it's all about math. It's all about who performs, who earns the reps, and then who moves forward.
It's funny that you bring that up, because as you brought up the math, and obviously it's a much different situation because I'm just a punter, but like, I know how many times I'm punting each week, right? And it's like, all right, I got like 3 punting practices this week. We got 3 weeks left. I only got 9 practices until like the season starts, and like I only have like 4 sessions before the season starts. Like sometimes I can really catch up on you. It's like we only have like 4 padded practices left before the regular season. Like that type of stuff can really, either motivate you, psych you out, or give you an opportunity to take advantage of the time that you have. Excited to see what Houston does with it tonight. A lot of young guys. A lot of young guys over there.
I mean, I'm excited to watch who they are on offense. C.J. Stroud never played under center. And, the Slovic, the new offensive coordinator of Houston, is a San Francisco disciple. So are they going to put CJ under center? Is he going to be strictly in the shotgun? The other thing, AJ, you know this, CJ Stroud spent his whole career looking at the sideline. He's never called a play, and he's never had to get the play in the huddle. Hey, make sure the left tackle, you got to squeeze down on this, you got to do that. There's a lot of stuff you got to communicate. So this is going to be a lot of information to process for him. Now, I'm sure the game will be real simple. It'll be a cover 2, cover 3 kind of game. He should execute it. That's the other thing. Quarterbacks in the preseason should play well. They should.
If they're protected, if they're not running for their life. Running for their life is normally what fucks that up, right?
That's exactly right. Like last year, who was the number 1 leading quarterback in the preseason last season? Ellinger. Ellinger. Yeah. He was by far the best. He was like 140. He had the best, highest rating of any quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
And then, but that's deceiving because, again, individual numbers in the preseason are very are not. What the team does is real.
Yeah, you don't say. I mean, we didn't have that passer rating ever going forward for the rest of the year. It was a misery thing, but I'm pumped that there's football on tonight. I'm excited to see what CJ Stroud does.
Yeah, me too.
I'm very pumped to see what DeMeco Ryans' culture looks like on the sideline too. There is some things you can kind of pull from it, although we can't wait for how many days?
28 days.
Until actual football comes around. Pac-Man has something for you, Lumbo.
Yes, sir.
Lumbo, 28 days. When is Dalvin Cook going to sign a contract? It's getting really close. Like how long is it going to take him to learn the offense? We're going to be playing the game in 28 days. Is it going to be this week? Is he going to sign one?
Who's that? I didn't hear who you said.
Dalvin Cook.
I think Dalvin and Zeke are going to sign with 2 weeks to go. I think both know where they're going to go. I think both don't want to play yet until the camp gets over. The one thing is wherever he signs, the Minnesota offense, I'm pretty sure that terminology would carry over to the Jets, certainly would carry over to the 49ers down in Miami because it's similar with Kevin O'Connell ran in Minnesota. So I don't think he'll have a hard time. Same thing with Zeke. I think Zeke will be able to figure it out pretty quickly, if he signs in New England. I think these guys would rather preserve their body than to get into camp like what's happened in Seattle. Seattle's got 4 running backs hurt. As a general manager, if a running back held out, I wasn't really that upset because you can get somebody else reps and I have to worry about you getting hurt.
So let's talk about another place without Bosa still not signed in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Kyle Shanahan came out and said, Bosa's never done a training camp. Not worried about anything. We are told Shanahan runs that place. So whenever Shanahan's saying, it's going to get worked out, we just assume it will. How long do you want that guy out of the building, though? Because isn't it good for some players to see a human like Bosa, how he operates, how he handles himself off the field, in the locker room, in the training room? Or does that not matter anywhere near as much as I'm putting kind of the weight on it? Because I'm like, get a deal done. Get him back in the building. This is a guy.
Yeah, they're going to. Yeah, they'll get one done. I think after the second preseason game, you'll see him back in. That gives him one preseason. He's not going to play. That gives him the preseason game and the week before. That gives him 2 weeks. I think that's the target. You need 2 weeks to get yourself in shape. And Bosa will be in great shape. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And look, the guy had 49 quarterback hits last year. I mean, who does that? I mean, he beat everybody by a ton. I mean, I think the next closest guy was 29. I mean, so it's remarkable what this guy does. They have to get him signed. And look, they have a quarterback who they drafted in the 7th round, so they're not putting money in a quarterback. They got the money to pay for him.
Oh, didn't even think about that because, Connor's going to ask about it. Trey Lance's situation is wild. Go ahead, AJ.
It's unbelievable.
Lombo, what do you make of all the noise in Dallas and what's going on with Dak and the interceptions and defense is talking? Are you worried about their offense?
Bitch, I believe.
It's hard for me to tell until I see it on the tape.
Yeah.
I never know when, you get those Twitter clips, a guy getting beat one-on-one, a guy's got 9 seconds to throw the ball. I never can tell. I'd rather watch it in the game. I think Dak's got to show that he's smarter with the football and not take chances. Look, if you're the quarterback of the Cowboys and you got that defense and you don't turn the ball over, why did Pittsburgh turn their season around? They only had 2 turnovers in the second half of the season because they played smart. And when you play smart as an offense and your defense is good, Pittsburgh's defense the last half of the season gave up about 16 points per game. So when you're smart, play smart, you don't put your defense out there in a bad advantage, that could help. And I think McCarthy's got to convey that. And I think Dax understands that. He's too smart not to. One thing in practice, guys take chances. It's why they call it practice, because you want to take chances. You want to make mistakes. Look, the best way to learn as any human being is to make mistakes. So when everybody's bitching about bad practices, the coaches are loving bad practices because we can correct it. Look at the Jets. They got their asses kicked down in Carolina, the offensive front. We all know their offensive line's in trouble, right? And so they were, they need this. They need a dose of reality on them to say, hey, we got to get better.
Yeah.
You need that. You can't have this ain't Hollywood.
How much
We're
trouble?
not filming a Hollywood
Hey,
movie.
that's a big conversation this morning. Greeny, what did Greeny say? He said, I want AJ Hawk living in my house.
Yep.
I want Aaron Rodgers moving in as well. And we need Bakhtiari as a New York Jet on the offensive line. I think that's what AJ, did you hear that the same way I did?
I did. I heard that. Very similar, yes.
Yeah, are they in trouble? That's a real problem.
Yeah, they're in deep trouble. I mean, look, Dwayne Brown's on PUP. They started Mac Mitchell in the preseason game. He's not quite ready to be the right tackle. Becton took himself out after 7 plays. And in fairness to Becton, when you watch the tape, he couldn't push off his leg. Like, he's got a knee injury that's been operated on twice. He's cleared to play. But as you guys know, being cleared to play and playing well are two different things. So they got to fix that line. What is Aaron Rodgers is most – what is his kryptonite? His kryptonite is rush, right? Tampa, the second half of the Tampa game, playing at home in Green Bay. That rush affected their offense. San Francisco game in the divisional round, that defensive front affected their offense. If he's going to have the year he's capable of having, that offensive line's got to play way better than it did last year.
Man, what a thing that would be to watch Jets fans be like, of course, we get a quarterback, we got all this, and can't keep him alive. Well. He's in great shape. Is that why he's in such good shape? He knows.
Oh.
He's probably going to have to take a little bit of a beating.
Yeah, probably.
He saw AAA and was like, I need to look like that guy. They don't have an offensive line. Are you able to figure that out? And there's some like some offensive, for instance, we talked about Cincinnati. It took them like 8 weeks last year for their offensive line to figure it out. Now they spent money on that offensive line, but they were able to figure it out. There's some offensive lines where there's not a lot of money, but somehow they're able to find it. Or Damian Woody was on here earlier. He said a guy named like Morgan Moses. I think Moses was an offensive lineman that got cut from somewhere at the end of training camp, came into the Jets, played very well, made their team. Now he just signed a deal because he got good. Are those guys, can you find that this late, or is that a personnel issue? What do you think?
It's hard to find. I mean, Morgan Moses, I think he got cut by Washington, and he went up there, or maybe it was, I think it was Washington. But, the guys that have experience, sometimes guys are hurt. They're not playing to the level. It's hard to find offensive linemen this late in the season. You got to count on some of the rookies. Like tonight, New England will play 3 rookies in their offensive line, all of them drafted in the 4th round. We'll see if they can play well. I mean, that's going to be the key. You got to find them guys in later rounds. For the Jets, they have to find a way to make it happen. I mean, Dwayne Brown's on PUP at age 38 years old. Can he stay healthy at left tackle?
When's he back?
That's hard.
PUP is what, 3 weeks?
Physical, well, no. PUP doesn't become actual PUP until the season begins. So right now, he's physically unable to perform. Once before the week of the first game, they either have to put him on PUP, they have to take him off PUP, or they keep him on PUP and he misses 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So what's the IR rule? Is that 3 weeks?
Yeah.
IR rule is different. I don't know what they did with COVID, but once you go on IR, you have to stay on IR for, I thought it was 4 weeks and then you could come back. They have to bring you back off of that IR list. But COVID rules. I mean, that used to be that was the way we used to run the league back early in the day when you could put guys on IR. You could kind of stash young players on IR. That's what the Washington football team did with Joe Gibbs for years. That's how they got so many good players.
Whoa, hey, I don't know if you know what you just did right there, but you talking historic Washington football teams. We thought for sure.
I grew up a Washington football team fan when I was a kid, and so I'm used to saying that, but I've kind of been able to work around that. I've gotten that in my brain now. I think I've kind of moved along there.
They're changing the name again.
Yeah, they're going back.
Are they?
I don't know. There's already been a bunch of problems.
I think they got to change whatever they're doing. I think they got to divest themselves of Daniel Snyder. I really do.
Completely. This guy never was here. Never was here. Something happened. We apologize for the blur that was like 17 years or however long that guy was the owner. Tone has a question for you, Lumbo.
Yeah, Lumbo, I've started going through a lot of the win totals for the season. Do you have a favorite win total that you've gone through so far for the upcoming season?
I love Pittsburgh over 8.5. I think Pittsburgh is really good. I think they're not sexy, right?
Oh, my God.
Matt Canada gets a lot of shit because they don't have this, we're going to go empty, all that. They kind of play old school football. but they didn't turn the ball over the last 9 games. Defensively, I think Patrick Peterson played really well last year. I think he's going to help them. I think Tomlin knows how to win football games. I know it's a hard division. I get that. I also like the Brownies. I think if the Brownies have no excuses left, right? I mean, if Watson plays to the level he's capable of playing that we saw 2 years ago, this team is really good. Last year, they gave up 4.7 yards per rush. All right. Well, one thing about Jim Schwartz and his defense, you're not going to be able to run the ball on that front. He's really good at taking away the run. He's really good at making the opponent play left-handed. I think they're going to be better. The other team that I like Green Bay on the over 7.5 because I think Green Bay is really good defensively. The last 5 games of the year, they gave up 17 points. They held Detroit to 34 points in 2 games. Now, look, they got to play better off. They can't turn the ball over. They got to be good offensively. I don't know how good Jordan Love will be, but 7.5 wins. I mean, I think we're getting carried away with Detroit. I think Detroit's a good team. I don't think Detroit's moved to elite level, especially defensively. And I don't know how good Minnesota is. And Chicago, look, if Chicago can get to 7 wins, that's a great year.
Here we go. Hey, we're going to try to stay away from Chicago because how worked up they get on every word that you say.
No, I'm good on that. I'm good. I mean, Boston tried to get me Connor tried to get me the last time, but it's all good.
Yeah, it kind of happens the way it does. There's 7.5, and what are the Steelers? 8.5. 8.5.
Packers were my favorite.
Steelers have a lot of action on them at 8.5. That's a big popular one because look, everybody thinks that that because of the division they play in. Look, the Steelers went into Carolina and kicked the crap out of Carolina. The next week, Carolina kicked the crap out of Detroit. So I'm not. All I'm saying is. Though Pittsburgh's a hard team to play, you better buckle up. And if their offensive line's improved, we'll see this preseason. But I think they're really good.
Well, the Colts beat the Chiefs. Chiefs beat everybody else.
Yeah. So the Colts should be the champion. That's right. That's how it goes, right?
6.5 though. That feels like an over, huh? Easy.
The Colts?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of it's going to depend upon they should be over 6.5. They like their defense.
Should.
Right? They like their defense.
They like their defense. Let's start doing a we talk. Okay. The they talk. Okay. That doesn't need to be how the pronouns are used for the Colts whenever you're talking about good things. Whenever I hear you say they really like their defense, they're really
I'm not in love with their defense. I don't love that Gus Bradley style of defense. I think the Seattle 3 has worn its welcome out. I think D'Amico Ryans changed what they did in San Francisco away from Seattle 3. I think Gus is good at that, but you've got to be able to make adjustments. They didn't do it in the Minnesota game. I think it's going to be a team. It depends on Richardson, right? What are we going to do? I mean, how good is Richardson and can he play right away? And if he can play right away and run around and run that 6-back offense, they're going to be able to win. I mean, look, that South isn't exactly the fearsome foursome down there.
Right. All right, listen. Jags got the second largest Jumbotron in the world, Craig.
Loser.
In the absolute world.
Yeah.
Houston Texans, full new energy.
Yeah.
Is Derrick Henry still down in Nashville?
Yeah.
Is D-Hop there too?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, nobody wants to see the AFC South. and whenever you say if he can play early, Jim Irsay came on the show and said, it don't matter if he can, brother.
Yeah.
He is pretty much.
He's going to play.
Yeah.
Well, you can't go from Gardner Minshew to Richard. Like they're two different things. You got to run the 6-back offense. See, I think the thing that's misconstrued a little bit is Philly's offense is this complicated scheme. It's not. Philly runs about 7 or 8 pass concepts, and their run game is really good. Their execution in Philadelphia is what makes the difference. And Hurts was good. So when you have a scheme that look. The great Dan Henning, who former coach of the Washington football team, the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, said this, and he's right. If you don't have any tendencies, you can't be any good, right? And so you got to know what we're going to do, and we'll do it, right? What's that old Bo Schembechler line? Hey, we're going to snap it on one and see if you can stop us, right? Yeah. That's what great teams do. How do you determine great teams in the NFL? I'll tell you how you determine them. Great teams can throw the ball when they need to throw it. They can run it when they need to run it. They can stop the run when they have to stop it, and they can stop the pass. That's great teams.
Yeah, hell yeah, it's football, baby. Yeah. And tendencies mean you have an identity, which every team is seeking, Speaking of identities, there's one in San Francisco that's very real, and I mentioned that Connor had a question about this a little bit ago. It was actually Ty that brought this up. What an interesting, fascinating career happening right in front of our eyes right now in San Francisco. Go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, Lombo, I know you mentioned that, stats don't really matter in the preseason, but when you look at a guy like Trey Lance, I know you said on the GM Shuffle earlier this week that, like, one day, the beat reporters or people at practice are saying he looked incredible and the best he ever did, and then the next day he absolutely sucks. He's the worst player in the NFL. What's going to happen with him? Like, if they go into the season and he's the third string quarterback on their depth chart, like, what happens to Trey Lance? Is anyone going to want him, or are they just going to hold on to him? Like, what does his future look like?
I mean, I think that's really hard. I mean, they want him to play well this preseason, but everybody knows, preseason, can be very misleading. You can play good in the preseason and not play good when the game becomes much faster. Look, I think Sam Darnold's going to be the backup, and I think Trey Lance is going to be the third string quarterback. And I think it's going to be hard. The poor kid has not played. He didn't play his senior year in college, and he hasn't really played the last 2 years. I mean, when they played in Houston in that preseason game, when he didn't play well, that's when Kyle brought Jimmy back. And I think that the Trey Lance thing has gone through its course, and now it's Brock Purdy's team, and that's the way it's going to be. I think he's going to need to go somewhere where some coach, and this is really important, where a coach really believes in him, who's going to take time and work with him and develop him, because I think he's a little bit of ways. I watched some of those Twitter clips, and I see his mechanics and I see his fundamentals. I saw John Lynch said he's getting better, but John Lynch has to say he's getting better. I want to watch it before I believe it.
Yeah, it's fascinating because that could be another career that just ends up being like a nothing.
Who knows?
Like, never really getting a shot either.
Which is crazy. Like, did they trade the future of the franchise away to get up to 3 in this monumental move for seemingly nothing? In the end, I would like to hear Trey Lance's take on it too if it ends up happening that way. But we just assume he's going to find it. He's going to find a home.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
He's going to find an opportunity.
Yeah.
He's going to do his thing. Let's talk about the guy that had the opportunity there in San Francisco and then was working out on another field. And then he's back in the thing. Now he's at the Raiders. Obviously, we know you have a connection there. There was a thought with the foot injury about a physical and a contract payment. Like, they don't have a quarterback. He's there all the way back. We haven't heard a lot of great things out of Raiders camp. What are you hearing, and how is Jimmy G adapting back into the McDaniels offense?
Well, I think it's going to take him some time. I think he's getting better. I mean, look, he's going to make mistakes. Jimmy was never, even when New England, when we first drafted Jimmy, I can remember the first couple of weeks before we played Washington we had practice against Washington and Richmond, and then we played him in a game. And Jimmy, before we got to Richmond, it wasn't really like, oh, my God, this guy's going to be really good. And then we got to Richmond in competition against opponents. He looked good. Then in the preseason game, you could see he was coming along. And so I think Jimmy's a guy that when he's going against somebody else, I think he understands it. I think he'll play pretty well. I think the Raiders believe their defense is better. They really feel like they've improved that area, and their skill players are improved. I mean, they got Jacoby Myers in there. They say Hunter Renfro's back to the Hunter Renfro that he was a year ago. They'll get Josh Jacobs back in camp. I don't think that's any doubt about that. He'll come in. I mean, I think both sides will get that done. So, look, they're in a tough division. Garoppolo's got to play. Last year, 16 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. More than anything, Garoppolo's got to stay healthy. I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, I love the Raiders think that their defense. I love the way you. Yeah, I'm not so sure yet. I'm going to have to see it. I'm going to have to see it, but this is what they're saying. We appreciate the help. Did we miss anything? Did we miss anything that you have any good feelings about?
No, I'm excited for this week. I'm excited for all of them. I just would urge everybody to, if you're going to bet games, I would study the stat sheet, not the player sheet, because I think we can learn a lot about these teams in this preseason about who's going to be good, especially in the opener.
All right. And you also said, like, it does matter how teams play at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, it does.
Everybody talks about
last year,
the Giants.
For example, I'll give you another one. Jacksonville led the preseason in yards thrown. Now, they played one extra game, but they actually were throwing the football effectively last year. Like, you got to take that and use that information. Remember, we're in the information business, right? When you're watching football, you're trying to collect data on all these teams. So you're in that information business. You need to know, like, I can't wait I know all the conflict with Washington this week, but I want to see what Washington's offense looks like. I don't care what they do in terms of, I want to see what their execution's like.
Man, could you imagine they got delay of games, people not on the field. I mean, if it's a clusterfuck, you can know.
Oh, it's bad.
Like special teams, normally a problem. Guys forget that there's delay of games because there's only 9 guys on the field, 10 guys on the field. You'll see somebody sprinting onto a field goal block late onto the field. Like, coaches hate that. Like, can we look professional. Like that is,
Yeah.
let's just look like we're a professional football outfit, at least a little bit. That's preseason football, baby. I can't wait for it.
Especially since we practiced it the day before. How many times did you have call-out dates?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, first team punt. Here they go. They're out there. Okay, 52's hurt. Who's in? And then we still screw it up, you know?
And it's an embarrassing thing whenever the cameras are going like this. And
You see the late guy running on the field.
yeah, that guy's not happy about running on the field.
No.
Fuck. All 32 teams are watching me not pay attention to the sheet, to the card. Here we go. Did I just lose my job because of this?
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah, there's a chance. Anyways, we appreciate the hell out of you, Lombo.
All right, guys.
You're the best.
I'll look forward to it. Thanks, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Lombardi.
Yeah.
He's good at what he does.
Yep. Forgot about special teams like that, especially for tonight. I'm excited to see what you think about the rookie punter and kicker.
He's
How
got
many muff punts it will be tonight?
So tonight, rookie punter.
Yep.
And I assume there's going to be rookie returners all over the place.
Yeah. For New England, it's all rookies at all specialist positions.
Who's punter for the Texans? Is that Cam?
Bill Burr guy.
Is that Cam Johnson
Tom.
still?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
He hits big balls. It's early.
Hey, they're not fair catching anything in the preseason, are they?
Nah, hopefully not.
Yeah, you're not supposed
I mean,
to.
especially young guys definitely should not. Like no matter what, right? Catch it and go.
Yeah, but I mean, if somebody hits you a hanger,
They can't kill you anymore. Like the rules are set up. Like I mean, you can get blasted for sure, but not like you used to.
Well, you learn about whether or not guys can do it, I think, in the preseason.
Yeah.
First mentally.
Because
can
that
these
ball
guys-
is going to be way higher tonight than it was in any college game that you've ever played in.
Yeah, your head's going to be one of these.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a night game too. It's gonna it's gonna feel a little bit different fielding those punts.
So there's a couple returners, I would see on film with Tom McMahon. It's like, hey, as soon as that guy's jaw goes like this, it's a fair catch immediately. So it's like, all right, we're going into the game. We're just trying to hit this fucker high. So we know this guy will not return a single ball if he goes like this. And there's a couple guys that you scouted and do that. You're like, I don't know how this guy's in the NFL returning, but he is. So let's go ahead and take advantage of it. That's a good time for a special teams coach to see if a guy's got it or not.
Never do that.
Because you were the worst.
Yeah. Not fair catching.
Yeah, you're just
awesome.
You're just actively ruining lives, though.
No.
Yeah.
A lot of guys got good jobs because of
He's
it.
enriching lives.
Oh, yeah.
He's enriching all those guys that are on that return team with him,
Yes.
the rest of the whole squad.
Yeah, I was a little negative, I guess, because I was coming from the other side there. I just saw everybody that you made miserable. You're talking about, you didn't see the guys that are driving around in real nice cars because we're
Punting out of bounds.
Telling people
You don't
that.
want him to return it. You don't want him to return it. Punt out of bounds.
Or hang it up like you do, Pat.
Yeah, well, that's what I started doing. Yeah, that wasn't as good as putting it out of bounds. I didn't want to risk a 25-yard net. You ain't doing that. Just punt out of bounds. Okay, who's blocking the fucking 6'7" guy who's running, coming off the edge? Right, guy used to do it. It's like, oh, yeah, go check the 40 times.
Yeah.
Back anyways. Go see what the first 10 yards was. Nowadays, guys making teams, paying for houses, paying for their family by blocking punts. Punts go down, by the way. Okay, so if we see anybody close, blocking a punt, you go to the ball. Blocking a field goal, you go up.
The sky.
You will see in these preseason games, somebody will come clean on a punt, and they'll go like this,
Don't miss it.
and the ball will get punt right around them. And then the special teams coach will be like, you had a chance to have a job.
Yeah.
And you put your hands
You work that drill from third grade on, take it off his foot.
Yep.
Take it off his foot.
Straight
So
down.
you practice that.
straight down. But a lot of these guys haven't played special teams since third grade, because they're the best players on the football team.
And then you're dead tired too, running around a preseason game, have no idea. Oh, I got to run down a kickoff now. You're struggling.
Yeah, make a wall too. We need a nice 80-yard little C sprint.
Big block
Need to
here.
get down there. And then there's those guys tapping out, and they look at the sideline like, we don't have anybody.
Dudes have their
Turn
tape
around.
off, helmets, hats on, eating seeds. Yeah.
Come on, I need somebody. Yeah.
We don't got
There's
it.
nobody.
You still out there, buddy?
Who are you talking to? Are you talking to? No. I don't even know where my helmet is. You got another 60 plays, pal.
Good luck.
Guys puking all over fields. Preseason football games.
Preseason, boy.
Oh,
Yeah.
The bad part, they tell you, hey, look, we have nobody else to put in for you, so you're going to have to suck it up.
and not get hurt.
Yeah.
Don't pull anything.
Yeah.
There's no tapping out here. We also need you on special teams.
Don't fuck up either, because if you do, see you.
We'll probably cut you.
Yep.
Good luck out there, boys.
Yeah, you got this. You
That's
got this.
tonight.
Living
Have
the
fun,
dream.
enjoy it. You get to do this.
That's right.
Bingo.
You get to do this. People would dream of having the job that you're having. And then you got a middle linebacker who is on his 65th play and has played every down of special teams. He's like, I think I'm good playing in Jacksonville. This is it's a little bit, maybe sell some insurance. You know, I don't know if this is for me or whatever. And it's like, your life is worse than anybody else's in the NFL right now, but you're getting your opportunity. Don't you ever forget it.
Yeah, take advantage.
And if you think that you're not going to make the team, make sure you buy your jersey.
So you remember it?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going to say fake an injury.
No,
Yeah, so you get an injury settlement.
If you could do that too.
Run your knee into something that really.
Well, or it's got to be something that they can't really figure out. Like, well, I don't want to give any ideas, but yeah, different guys have tried different things of where, hey, they can't really prove how hurt I am here, so let's get 6 or 7 weeks out of this.
What are some ideas?
Yeah.
But just one thing.
I mean, the head injury is always a thing. They can't really gauge that.
Yeah. Hamstring.
Hammy for sure.
Kerry Collins came to the Indianapolis Colts out of a deer stand whenever Peyton Manning had his spine realigned and redid and re-put back together out of nowhere. None of us knew that. Kerry Collins, very retired, but had connections to Bill Polian whenever they were at Carolina together. So he comes in fresh out of a retirement vacation. He was really cool. Enjoyed talking to him. I don't know if he's made the best decision in every situation through his entire life, but whenever he got to the Colts, felt like he understood the assignment situation, and J.J. Watt picked him up, dumped him on his head, and he never set foot back on a football field. You know, it was like 4 or 5 weeks later. We have not won a game, obviously. Life is miserable. And it's like, are you coming back? He's like, still,
yeah, sorry.
Still a little equilibrium. And it's like, don't blame you, pal.
Smart man.
Do not blame. You need to get back to that deer stand. I get it. Take the full check. You deserved it. But the injury settlements, you know, that thing is that's a real thing in training camp.
For guys, it's for people. If say you're the 75th guy on the roster and you have a pretty good idea, hey, I am not going to make it. You'll see some of those guys go down like fourth quarter of the last preseason game because they can negotiate with their agent. Then, hey, okay, this is an 8-week injury. The team says, no, it's a 2-week. Okay, pay me for 5 weeks.
And then bang, you get that check right up front, and you're a free agent, potentially go somewhere else.
Yep.
Well, and was it the Eagles? And this wasn't like a preseason guy, but some guy from the Eagles, I believe, this offseason got like $40 million in an injury settlement.
What?
Ooh. Yeah.
No, this is a different settlement I'm talking about.
No, I know. I'm saying it wasn't a preseason.
That's
thing.
from back in the day, right?
Yeah. It was from
that was the
years
returner?
ago. I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a returner.
Who from the team?
Yeah, it was some sort of malcontent, I believe.
Yeah, and I don't know how like the payouts work, if it's team or NFL, but it was like a very serious injury. He kept playing, and then his career was over. Because
I forget what it was big though. But he's talking about a transaction.
I'm talking, either I get cut and I get nothing, I'm done, or I can get a couple game checks.
Yeah.
And then go sell insurance.
Like the 60th
Did you do that in Atlanta?
Yeah, is that what you did?
No, it was during the season. No.
I heard you and Pat Anger did the same thing down in Atlanta. You guys just decided to do the same
thing. Did Pat Anger do that?
He played in Atlanta, and then that was, I think, training camp. He did not, I don't think, he would never accept an injury settlement, I don't think. Pat Anger. I'm not injured. So.
Absolutely.
Nope.
You have 5 fractures in both of your feet.
Doesn't matter.
So
yeah, that's what a Tuesday is.
Part of the game.
Let's go.
That guy was a maniac, bro. Did you know Pat?
He's awesome. Not personally, but I've been a fan from afar.
You two would be very, very, very close. You two would be great friends. You two would get along.
I had a couple guys that came from Iowa that were young on like the Packers. Like, man, you know Pat, you and Pat you get along great.
Yeah, his
I've
locker,
heard that from a few people.
Yeah, his locker was right next to mine. We got along very well. I enjoyed the shit out of Pat Anger, and he was a dog on the football field. Led the NFL in tackles one year with a broken foot. Like, people forget about that. Then he had a knee injury that kind of popped up, and then I think his foot again.
Is he from Iowa?
Yeah.
Where's he from?
Bettendorf.
Where's that?
Like near the Illinois border. Just while he was at Iowa, obviously a legend, but he graduated. He was your age, so he's the same age as my older brother, and Bettendorf won the state championship his senior year, and he played in the state championship, I think, with like 4 or 5 broken vertebrae, and had like 19 tackles, and like just a fucking legend through and through all throughout Iowa.
He's got this American flag tattoo down his arm. You know what I mean? Like, just the most classic Iowan.
Beast.
Who just would go on to do his thing. Ends every text message to me, Kid Rock.
Legend.
I'll get a message out of nowhere like, hey, keep doing the Lord's work out there. Love watching you. I think one of them was like, I'm so thankful that I'll be able to tell my kids someday that I was able to shower naked with Pat McAfee.
Mm-hmm.
Kid Rock.
Kid Rock.
Just out of nowhere. Haven't heard from him in 7 months, and then I just wake up to that text message. I start like dying. Like, happy to hear you still got your fastball, Pat.
Oh, yeah.
Hope everything's good, you know, living his life. He had a lot of
concussions.
Did he?
A lot of concussions, yeah.
Wow.
Because his head, not necessarily.
He threw that thing around. I could see how that would happen.
Yeah, but his head, I don't think is like a full shovel, like a lot of people's.
Sure. Yeah.
He had a standard head.
Sure.
That I think he was just, you know what I mean, ready to do whatever.
Tossing.
I don't want to tell the story for him, but he came into work one morning and said something to me that was very alarming. And it's like
he didn't know his own name or what?
No, like he had no idea, I think, how many concussions he has potentially had. I think he said, if that's what a concussion is.
Oh, boy.
I think that was his exact line. And I'm like, what?
It's true, though. That was always my thing. Like, what makes something a concussion compared to, he just got dinged a little bit? Like, what crosses the line?
Bro, him coming out of that meeting, I don't know who he met with, coming into the locker room and just sitting down and like head shaking. I'm like, what is wrong? He said, I think I just learned what a concussion was. And if that's what a concussion is, buddy, we gotta start working on my brain.
Don't worry.
It was like, it was like the most beautiful Pat Anger thing of all time. And then obviously he was in the game.
Yep.
3 days later.
Of course.
Beering
Brad
people.
15 tackles.
Yeah, absolutely. Old school. Hey, old school there, Pat Anger.
Nice.
Fuck you,
I like those shoes too.
I got them on Amazon. I laced them.
It's hard. I can't find I like high tops, and it's hard to get decent high tops I like.
So I was never really a big high top guy because my calves, you know what I mean? My calves are pretty large. But I've gotten into it now that I've started wearing more pants. You know, I used to wear shorts everywhere.
You can't wear with shorts.
These ones, got them on Amazon, AJ. This is from Stadium Goods, I believe.
I like it. I like that you're using Amazon now.
Only for shoes. And it's because I can't go anywhere to do anything. I have no time in my life ever. So.
Yeah.
That's why Jeff Bezos is there trying to.
Yep.
He wants to
Bezos.
have what Elon's trying to build.
X.
One-stop shop for everything.
Will they ever get there?
That's why Amazon has pharmacy. They have everything now.
The pharmacy is actually really nice.
Yeah, isn't that kind of alarming, right? We're able to get some. We've talked about this before. And
We got to have prescriptions though, right? Obviously, your doctor just sends it through Amazon.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like those pharmacists are never writing.
No, they're all just upstanding.
They're not over prescribing anybody, and if you're just getting it off without having,
You guys
seen
know
it-
pharmacists that are doing this because I like their names.
Is that still happening?
Oh yeah.
It will happen forever.
Aren't they cracking? I mean, as far as like opiates though, aren't they super strict on all of that?
I guess like the pharmacists might have dipped out of that game, but like the amount of fentanyl now that's getting dropped in
that
the
ain't coming.
street pills that are coming, it's like.
Why? Okay, so why would whoever's making the drugs or manufacturing? Why would they put the fentanyl in? It'll kill your clients. Why do you do that?
They don't. There's
They
always.
want more clients. They want more clients.
No, they
don't
want to
kill
move
them.
product. That's all they want to do.
Yeah.
So I think fentanyl is just taking up space in the product so they don't have to give up as much. I've had a lot of friends, and by a lot, probably there's other people that have had, but I've had numerous friends throughout my life now at every single era lose their lives because of pills and everything like that.
Yeah.
And one way or the other. That's a disgusting thing that got started, and just you watch some of these documentaries about what the government was saying about some of these pills.
Dope sick.
Yeah, bingo. You watch Dope Sick and it all takes place. So it does scare me a little bit that people were able to like get more pills without having to go and
Scares me how fast people get hooked. Like it scares me for my kids. I'm like, man, don't ever take anything. Like, don't mess with it because you get hooked in a couple of days. I feel like.
Yeah, and there's some people that get hooked in an hour.
Yeah, and the kids thing's crazy is because like kids who are like 10 and 11 who might not be able to sit still, they're just giving them Adderall or like some form of that. And if you're starting that young, it's very easy to become reliant on
chasing the dragon
on those things. Yeah, and then one thing leads to another. It's just it's ignorance, really.
Well, let's just be safe.
Yeah.
And if you're a kid out there, like, just not worth it. Like, there's some things that I think you should try. Okay? I've thought about this with Mackenzie because I've obviously said yes to a lot of requests. Hey, do you want to go do this? Yeah. Why not? Let me go experience this. But there's some things that you got to have on there. It's like, can't do this.
Won't do
Can't do this.
There's a line.
Won't do this.
Yeah, the things where you try it once and it could kill you. Definitely, we don't take those off. Those are non-starters.
Yeah, those don't even exist. Like, they do, but that shouldn't even be something. But there's a lot of people, And every one of my friends that have got hooked, like, I think they've reached a point in their life where they feel like they don't really have anything else. So they don't have a lot of things to like sway them away from trying this thing that is certainly going to probably kill them. And they just get in and it's gone and it's over. And it's like, damn. And then they get clean. Some guys, it's a problem. I hope we fix it. We won't be the ones. Smart people figure it out. But smart people, you're also the ones fucking people at one point. So we'll figure it. Hey, figure it out. Need you to figure it out. That's scary, bro.
It is.
The fentanyl thing, they're saying just dead.
Yeah, crazy.
And it's everywhere.
Everywhere. Yeah. And becoming more and more. I mean, it's...
Well, you know whose fault it is.
God.
Say it.
And I don't want to talk about anything else.
You know who it is.
I don't want to talk about anything else that's super negative right now, but like that fire over in Maui.
Yeah.
Jeez. Obviously, the Canadian fires took place, and we don't know if they're still taking place and what the results were. But this fire in Maui, in Lahaina, I believe.
How did it start?
I don't know. I guess there was a fire somewhere, and then there was like hurricane winds that kind of just blew them everywhere. And look at the town before and then the town afterwards. And obviously, a lot of places in Hawaii revolve around tourism and people visiting. I am very fortunate that I've gotten the opportunity to go to Hawaii a few different times. I've never been to this particular place, but that is like the coolest place I've ever been to ever. You land in Hawaii and it just feels different. And obviously there's a lot of history there and everything like that, but the locals are nice, the vibes are cool. Wow. And once you start learning about the importance of how that island and what it has done for the United States of America, you can't help but fall in love with the place. So whenever you hear news like this, it's just a damn shame because that is devastating what happened there. And being able to build that back up after COVID, right? COVID shut down the island for like all the islands for like 2 years. You know, because my wife and I were planning on getting married there, flying all of our friends over there. Then obviously COVID comes, can't do it. So then they think they're going to open the island up again. Oh, we're going to do it again. But no, it was like 2 years, no money coming to the island pretty much. Now, I know they all have businesses and everything like that, but tourism, huge. So for something like that to happen to that town is devastating. And we'd like to let all the Ooses know we are so sorry that happened. There's a fund being promoted right now, I think by Kirk Herbstreit, who's obviously been to this place a lot of times and numerous others. If you'd like to help Hawaii, certainly go ahead and do that. We will. But these fires are starting to scare the shit out of me more and more every single day because they just don't stop.
No.
That's where I went when I went to Maui. It was the most beautiful place I've ever been in my entire life. Ooh. It was amazing.
I thought it was
Why is it happening?
I don't know.
That's what I thought.
I thought volcano erupted.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think that was it.
No.
I don't think it was a volcano. It was just fire.
So it's a fire that started and the winds were crazy and carried it all over the place and
they were going
torched the place.
They were already very, very dry, so it was just terrible conditions.
Yeah. Perfect storm.
Jesus.
Oh,
thought that was
back
in.
rim today. Son of a bitch.
You guys watch the Johnny Manziel doc?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm going to. I haven't yet. I hear it's great.
Oh, what?
Yeah, it's
he
good.
said he never watched film, AJ.
I did see that clip when he said 0, I guess.
Enough.
So he wasn't even trying to fake it, I guess, huh?
No.
I don't want to watch it.
He must have been throwing games.
I don't know if you're missing much.
I don't want to watch it. I've seen the clips, you know.
He played him back.
I know, he was easy to pick.
The first half hour.
Obviously, he wasn't watching no
Back
goddamn
on,
film. We knew that when we was going into the game. Well, we going to get 2 of these motherfuckers today.
You got one on Johnny Manziel?
Oh, yeah.
How easy?
It was so easy.
And I think a lot of people,
Hating him, too. Ball late.
so like I think a lot of people, like I'm a Johnny Manziel fan just because of the story was happening at an age in which I'm like, this dude's wild. Like this guy's crazy, and kind of reliving it. I think a lot of people through the documentary are enjoying doing that. But you get given some abilities that people dream of, and you treat it the way you treat it and the way it gets portrayed in this documentary. I think there's going to be some people that are going to be like, who cares? This guy squandered the opportunity of a lifetime because he couldn't get together. I think it's a good story for younger athletes to watch and learn about what's possible and what could take place. Sure. But I don't know if I want to watch the doc just because of some of the things that have come out of it. But I'm happy. He seems to be happy. Oh, geez, back.
There you go.
I mean,
already up 20-0.
Yeah, had to do what you had to do. dance on his face too. Give me one of these things. Great play there. Pack a little bit of money. Yeah, all right, gotta do that. Was the Manziel thing.
yeah.
It's just like I'm kind of torn on whether or not I should watch it because I enjoy the thought of him being all the way back, like and happy and on the other side.
He is though. He can still have all that in his past and be back. It should make you feel even better. Like, wow, look where he has come from.
Yeah, but I guess like in the documentary, it's not.
If you watch it, you might not necessarily think that.
Oh
no,
they don't talk about the shot bar.
Well, he's having a beer, I guess, at the end. A lot of people are like,
Wait, we never asked him. Did he say, was he ever sober or did he ever talk about that?
No, but he talks about in the documentary how like he had substance abuse issues and drinking issues and stuff like that. And that's like, fine, you don't need to go completely sober, but like the doc opens with him and like his boys in Scottsdale, clearly like, you know, drinking and like smoking and stuff like that. And it closes that way. So it's like, I don't know. I got the impression it's like you're saying all this shit, but like it's very evident, or at least I thought, like this dude hasn't changed at all.
Yeah, he has to feel bad, right? Is what
I definitely did not feel bad.
All right, I
for
probably
it
won't watch that
all.
either, Pat.
You know what I mean? Like,
I'll probably wait. I'll wait.
Some
a
of
bit.
the stories from it, like, you know, and like again, I mean, all being either in college or like kind of around that time and remembering all that kind of stuff, like that was cool. But yeah, like as a person and everything like that, I wouldn't say I came out of it being like, man, I really feel bad for Johnny Manziel. But now he's on the other side of it, and I'm happy that he's doing great. Like I didn't feel like that at all after.
Go ahead, Foxy.
He went to rehab once. It went well, and then he went again, and he escaped. So he just said, "Fuck this," you know.
Yeah, first half
like,
hour.
Reliving the highlights
Okay.
really was the coolest part.
Okay.
He made A&M absolutely appointment TV. Like
Yes.
you were watching when A&M played when it was awesome.
And they said in the documentary, it shows first high school football play, 80-yard touchdown. Gets called back for a holding. Second play in high school, 90-yard touchdown. So literally, like, as soon as he got onto a football field, success.
Yeah, and it was the same play too. Like they talk about and they show the film of it after, you know, they call the same Manziel run basically right up the middle, and he looks to the sideline thinking that it was like a screw up. Nope, run the same play, 90 yards. It was unbelievable. The highlights are awesome. That's why I say the first half hour.
See, I'm a fan of Johnny Manziel.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm thinking about not watching it. You know what I mean? Because like,
yeah, me too.
Yeah, that's like because I saw a lot of people on the internet. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people that loved it.
I was gonna say I don't know if I'm in the minority or
You're not the
majority.
only one though. Yeah, you're not the only. There's a lot of people that are tweeting about like how they feel like the people around Johnny Manziel are doing Johnny Manziel a disservice.
Bingo.
You know, and how like there's a lot of things that happened around like the decisions that he was making, and now it's still like being promoted pretty much.
Yeah.
It's almost like a ticking time bomb is how like some people were taking it. I don't know if they're grandstanding. I didn't watch it. I like Johnny Manziel, so I'm just going to continue to like Johnny Manziel and just keep it moving.
He does hammer home how much regret he lives with, but he still, at the end of it, it kind of just seems like, fuck it. Like, it is what it is. I'm going to keep it moving.
Yeah. All right. So,
yeah.
I saw the clips. Sounds like he was living.
Mm-hmm.
Just living.
Just living.
He was.
In the NFL, he didn't watch any film. That came out, obviously. And I appreciate the fact that he owned that, but I'm sure some of his teammates were like,
yeah, what the
man,
hell?
you know? So I just don't want to watch. That's
That was
my
one of
decision.
Skip's famous ones, right? Didn't he say he's going to go down as like one of the best?
Yeah.
Skip, hey, Skip's getting a lineup together, I guess.
Yeah.
Rachel Nichols, Richard Sherman,
Lil Wayne.
Wayne.
And they're just going to continue to rotate through?
I think it's going to feel like First Take a little bit, but like the Skip Bayless show almost.
Lil Wayne's every Friday. I do think it's those three for most days.
They said panelist, right?
Yeah. So and then
So-
I saw a co-host thing. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Is someone in the middle? Is there going to be someone in the middle between the two that face off?
So there wasn't at the end there. Remember the lady? What was her name?
Oh, Jenny. Is it Jenny?
Jenny Taft. Jenny Taft. Yeah.
Was she?
She was there for a long time. Yeah.
They had a couple.
Someone else was on
They were
there,
not
too.
like when COVID started. Other room. Remember?
Yeah.
Like they have
I
their
do
own
remember that.
isolated shot, and Shannon and Skip were at a table all by themselves. They continued to do that after. Well, what does it look like now? They said panelists. Like is Skip Bayless going to be sitting there, like with like people around the table? I don't know. I'm excited to see what they do.
Yeah.
You think you're gonna let him talk? Have like three other people talk before Skip gives his point, or it gets to there's no way.
Yeah, I don't know. And then what's going on with Shannon? I'm excited to see that. I heard some rumors, some rumblings, but nothing really
Nothing yet.
yet.
No.
I'm excited to see how that kind of pans out. ESPN Bet is something that's coming, I guess.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Congrats to ESPN.
That'll be fun.
Congrats to Dave Portnoy as well. I guess the deal that he was able to, the deals he was able to do will go down as a master class on getting paid for a business. And he seems to be at a good spot getting that company all the way back. Everybody's happy. ESPN probably happy they've got a sportsbook deal done. Seems like all parties win here, but we know nothing. I've gotten a lot of people that have asked me, hey, what do you know about blah, blah, blah? No idea. I have no idea. Now, a sportsbook partner for ESPN was certainly chatted about in my negotiations. Like, hey, I understand what is happening in the world right now, and that's a pretty big bucket in sports media right now. So I wasn't on like the ends of the conversations, but certainly prepared for it in negotiations. So I was happy to see that they signed a sportsbook deal, and I'm pumped to see if one of these ones that are named after an entity can work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Fox Bet did not work.
No.
Terrible.
Very bad.
I didn't know there was one.
Bingo.
Exactly.
Bingo. Barstool Sportsbook, it did not work nationally.
Nope.
It was the market share was not there. It did not work. There's a lot of money and focus going into this sports gambling because a lot of people view it as a $1 trillion business. That did not work. There's been others that have been like named after something that did not work. Will ESPN Bet be the one that works because they have so many games and dominate so much of the conversation, have so much real estate all over the place? We shall see. The tech's going to have to be good.
Bingo.
So that's the only thing that we, as people that
Isn't that
do,
one of the? That's like one of the biggest things, right?
It's the only thing
that matters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like the interface has to be
Especially if
easy
you're
and has to be.
If you're going to pull away
simple.
from someone else, it needs to be better than someone else's.
Yeah, because people in a lot of states, 20, whatever it is, have their place where they're gambling, and they probably enjoy it. The reason why they enjoy it is because for them it's easy to use, the odds are good, and payouts are quick. Now, regulations, the payouts are going to be quick, but the tech is the only thing that's going to matter. Like whenever this thing debuts, whenever it is going to have to be good. Because if it crashes or it doesn't have the same bets or capabilities of other places, all you're going to hear is people bitch about what it doesn't have. And that's going to be a tough hurdle to get in there. But I would assume everybody at ESPN and at Penn know that.
Yes.
And then whenever it rolls out, it'll be ready to go. You would think that would be something.
Do these sports books and these apps, do they give big incentives to the whales to try to get them to come over to their platform and gamble with them? Like in a casino, like Dana White can go in and get favorable, they can go and negotiate favorable odds on different games.
So he only plays at Red Rock, I believe, because the Fertitas own that.
Yep.
Everywhere else,
He's got booted from everywhere else.
Yeah, he's been banned from everywhere else. But Red Rock, it's kind of become a thing, like the Dana White room. People go gamble with Dana White, which is pretty good marketing. It seems like everybody wins, too. I don't know how Red Rock's taking that on the shins every single time, but
Phil, Phil's been winning, right?
I would assume.
Well,
yeah.
I don't know
so
about
let's talk about Phil Mickelson tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And his gambling. But congrats.
I'm reading the book when it comes out.
Yep.
Me as well.
Yeah.
Congrats to ESPN, Penn, Barstool,
Hell yeah.
everything.
Everybody.
Congrats.
Way to go, everybody. Happy for everybody. We'll be excited to see how that pans out. Doesn't change our show, though.
Nope.
No, not at all.
No. I hope their tech's good.
Me too.
Well,
because it's gonna stink if it's not.
Because
hopefully they get some coders in there, right? Lock in and write that code.
Yeah, because I don't know what the Barstool Sportsbook is like right now.
Yeah, not sure.
Because we were FanDuel for so long, and FanDuel's tech is very good.
Yes.
So, like, FanDuel's tech is solid, so we're with FanDuel. So I'm not going to go anywhere else. I haven't checked out the one, but I would assume they know that the tech and the customer
is the most important.
Is the only thing that, yeah,
that's it.
Because ESPN shouldn't have a problem letting people know that it exists.
Yeah,
right.
That part will take care of itself.
And they potentially have like a pretty good team coming up with ideas that recently joined. That hopefully
let's hope
we'll be able to work a little bit. Hopefully. But tech's gonna have to be good.
Speaking in code, what are you doing?
Well, I don't know. We were part of the #1 fucking sports book for a long time. Didn't get a lot of credit there. Got paid the most out of anybody that was there. I think there's pie graphs that showcase a lot of things, which is why we got the deal that we got. But
250,000 people.
One bet.
Largest ever.
Super Bowl.
Didn't hit though. Fuck.
So close.
So I didn't want to continue down the path of like giving out bets that were promoted and boosted and losing people money. That weighed on. That was a lot, dude.
It's tough.
Genuinely feel bad with the people tweeting you and sending messages and pictures. I thought you guys were going to get this plus 800 one right finally. I bet $25, you fucking lose me. Like those were last year we were very bad. So that definitely weighed into the decision of like, don't necessarily just want to, do that.
No.
I would rather.
Especially not for a whole season.
I would rather stay away from that particular aspect. So when ESPN Bet comes in, I think a lot of people are like, oh, here we go. Same thing that happened with FanDuel happens with ESPN Bet. It's like, I have not signed up for that.
No.
I have not. No. I have not signed up for that, AJ. I am a person that has a conscience. I do feel bad. Like when people say terrible things about me, I do think about them. I do weigh them heavy. When we were giving out bets and losing, Jesus Christ, those were long nights, tough mornings.
I mean, they're plus 800. People should fucking know. It's not your fault.
Yeah, but they don't.
They don't.
Whose fault is that?
Well,
it's theirs, but he's still he's still taking it on the
Yeah.
chin.
I mean, that's a rational take.
Yeah.
It's literally called a bet.
Bro, we were passing that saddle around. Somebody has to get hot in here somewhere. Who has any idea of a bet that could win? You? Perfect.
Pretty tough. Pretty tough to figure that out sometimes.
Dude, we got killed last year.
The greatest of all time was like 58, 60%.
Yeah, Phil Mickelson lost $100 million after gambling
Who's that?
billion.
Vegas Dave?
Billy Walters.
Billy Walters, the guy that wrote
the book.
Phil. All right, let's take a break.
Okay.
Let's take about a 20-hour break or so. We'll be back tomorrow. A lot of things to talk about. We'd like to learn more about the Phil Mickelson situation.
Yeah.
Because I think a cool thing to do a full
presentation.
Made a pie chart for that. Yeah.
on Phil being like having an actual problem. Like we shouldn't crack jokes about it, but Phil kind of has.
Yeah.
The amount of bets, and obviously the money is just way more than anything I thought would happen.
838 $220,000 bets over a 4-year period.
Oh my God.
It's absurd.
Yeah, 838 $220.
This isn't even counting the bets he's made with people individually all over the place too when he's doing things.
Bro, he's making $20,000 long shot NBA 5-game parlays. Just fuck it. Here we go. He said he gambled $1 billion over like a 4-year period or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to live. Okay? I'm gonna get this 450 million.
Yeah, need it back.
Jeez Louise. That's that's problematic.
Yeah.
And that is the type of thing though that is shut down by the modern sports apps with the regulations and like government being like, yeah, we got to protect people from themselves. If sports gambling was legal when Phil Mickelson was doing all this stuff, the apps all would have shut down.
Oh yeah.
Like nope. Wouldn't
let him.
Nope. And then they call the bank too and be like, hey, don't let this guy take any more money out.
Yeah.
He's in trouble right now. We are letting you know. We are benefiting greatly, but also got to save this guy from himself at some point.
Looking out for him.
This guy's got no friends around him telling him to stop
No.
doing this. That's what it felt like we were reading.
No, it feels like the whole golf community is a big bet community.
Big gamble.
Yeah, it is.
We could see how you would,
Well, the other day we found out he's still
Makes
betting
it better.
$100 million on 9. So.
yeah, 1G with DeChambeau. What's 1G mean, though? After reading that book, might be 2 million.
Yeah.
Could be.
Could be.
All right, we'll be back tomorrow. I'm sure it'll be a great show tomorrow.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Feel good
Nice
Friday.
Feel Good Friday.
Feel
into a
good.
great
Games to
weekend.
react to.
Hell yeah. We got 2 games tonight.
2 games tonight.
Hammer
Dahn
is in 15 minutes. Are you picking the games for tonight?
Yeah.
Okay. We will watch there, see what we're winning on. Remember, they're 0 for 1.
Yes.
Yeah, Hammer Down boys are 0 for 1 on NFL preseason games. But tonight they're about to go 2-0 to be above 500. We're going to be winning bets, watching games, reacting to them tomorrow. Join us, will you? We hope you will. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. Goodbye.